Hello, everyone. Welcome to the CCA Circuit Qualifier number 5 here on our SplatoonTourney stream. My name is Hammy. I'm joined here with Astro. Astro, how you feeling today?
I think I'm doing pretty well. I'm ready to see a lot of really good Splatoon matches. It's been a while since I've done one of these.
For sure. And here on SplatoonTourney, again, the CCA does have another stream going on their own Twitch channel, so we're having 2 broadcasts for you here. So here on our stream, we're going to be having Bash versus ULL Noir Stars to start us off for the night. Now, Astro, I'm not sure if you know much about the CCA. Do you know anything about either of these teams? And shed some light?
Can't say that I do. This is my first interaction ever with the CCA. Actually, stop that. This is my second interaction ever. I was at Riptide, so I did see a couple of CCA teams there, but can't say that I recognize any of these players.
All right. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I'm not as familiar with the CCA as well, just because I am both not American and not in college anymore. I'm a little bit too old for that. So this is going to be very exciting for me because the CCA is... I've seen very high regards for it in the Splatoon community, and I'm very excited to kind of see what these teams are going to be bringing out for us in a little bit, as I believe people are readying up. I'm not sure if we have a map list or team rosters we can look at before we get into the match, though I'm sure everyone is eager actually just to see the fights and kind of get into some of these matches here.
I mean, if we need a little bit of a roster check, we do have on the side of Bash, we have Warmonk, Lettuce, Nemo, and RNG Panda. And on the side of ULL Noir Stars, we have M Knight, I believe that is, Ping, Pomni, and Soup. A lot of players I haven't heard of before. I think I recognize RNG Panda, although that might be from a little bit of X Battles that I've seen them in, and nowhere else. Do you recognize any of these players, Hammy?
Not too familiar. I do recognize some of the names, but I'm not too familiar with the players or their play styles. Though going into some of these maps that will be very, very familiar, as I'm sure all of us like to play a lot of Splatoon. For game 1, actually, I believe we are just loading up straight into the match. Here we are. Rainmaker on Scorch Gorge is going to be our first match of the night here with Bash versus ULL Noir Stars.
Ooh, a classic Rainmaker map. We don't see a lot of Rainmaker nowadays with the zones only being very popular, but I'm interested to see how Rainmaker is developed when I haven't seen a lot of it. I'm going to see edit on both sides. Interesting, considering this has often been considered a pencil map, but I do like to see a lot of edit, being an edit player myself. Here we go, out into the opening. I expect both teams to probably stick around in middle a little bit, try to poke with bombs, not taking too much aggression. That's how open this middle can be. And it looks like the 52 goes down already. We might see a little bit of... Oh, we're going to see a lot of momentum from the side of Noir Stars as they get 2 down right off of the bat. They could be getting close to the first checkpoint with 2 people going down like this. This checkpoint, especially with a hammer up there, doesn't take a lot to break. And here it is. And that's the first checkpoint down. Wow.
Not even 40 seconds in, getting that first checkpoint. Going 3 members down. So a very important milestone pretty early on, but they do need to get back as fast as possible because they don't want to give Bash the opportunity to get that exact same momentum. Noir Stars getting back, getting 1 down on each side, so they have gotten back to that stalemate in mid that they were looking for. They do have the advantage here, but Bash are looking to kind of get a push of their own here. We see the strikes coming in from Nemo, a lot of bombs coming in, Grissom on both sides, pushing each other back and forth. There comes that bubble. Rainmaker in the bubble. Can they get to this checkpoint? Looking for it, and there it is. Checkpoint break for Bash with all 4 members alive. ULL Noir Stars down to 2. This could be a big push for Bash here.
Yeah, everyone's still up on the side of Bash. They have the Rainmaker. They have a lot of pain. And the Rainmaker goes down, unfortunately. But 3 go down on the side of Noir Stars. This is going to be an easy pop and grab. You can rush this Rainmaker straight forwards. You're going to get a ton of points here. Down to 41 and probably more points yet to be scored. But unfortunately, this crab tank is going to come out and the wiper dropping. And it looks like Bash is going to, for the most part, wipe. I don't even see anyone anymore. Oh, this 52 gal still skirmishing in the pit, refusing to leave the enemy team's base, but does finally go down as Noir Stars struggles to get back into mid a bit. Wow,
Yeah,
that was quite a lot that happened right there. A lot of deaths, and the Rainmaker goes down once again, and Noir Stars is 2 down again. Bash wasting no time to have another push going.
Bash are now grouped up here again, as you mentioned earlier. Warmonk on that Gal tried to make that sneaky play in the base of Noir Stars, but unable to get any value from it, though. The team is now grouped up. They're ready to hold out this midsection because they do have a lead here, but 40 isn't a very, very convincing lead. This map isn't the easiest to push into the opponent's base, but once you're in there, you can get a very, very good push relatively easily. So Bash is going to want to try to keep the fight on the half of Noir Stars. Make sure that every engagement that's happening is happening on that half of the map so that they do not have an opportunity to push. Though Bash is 3 members down, trying to just buy some time with those bombs here, try to give some jumps and not lose out that map control.
Yeah, Bash really trying just to stall at this mid while all of their teammates come back. It does look like we're going to be going back into a neutral game with both teams in mid. On the side of Noir Stars, it does seem to be a little bit of cooler up still, though, so we might be able to make some plays off of that. Rainmaker gets 1 pick. That's 2 people down on the side of Bash. Noir Stars might be getting a push here. They might be going back for the lead. Crab's out. This bubble's out. Oh, but the Rainmaker does seem to die just to a random bomb. That's unfortunate. Gonna really stall out that push and give Bash a lot of time to regroup and retake mid. It does look like they're wasting no time with that cooler, getting back in, moving up together, and trying to play a little bit more aggressively. And the strikes coming out. This is going to push Noir Stars quite far back. Wiper's going to go in for a little bit of a greedy play, trying to pull 2 people, and unfortunately goes down, but the Rainmaker does go down as well. That's going to give the Wiper a little bit of value there. Bash still holding this forwards position, ready to push at any time, just waiting for those 2 picks to go down where they can really rush right in. Really, it's just a waiting game at this point. You need to wait for the other team to make a bad play and that you can really punish it so that you can run in. But it does look like the Rainmaker's going to go down once again, just waiting for that one moment to happen.
Noir Stars do have a very strong defense here, though. We see Ping and Soup on those 2 different Splatlings, able to hold out this gate area very well. But when you're when your team is currently losing you need offense. You can't just rely on that defense. Pomni coming in with this Ultra Stamp here, getting shut down by the shooters on the side of Bash now. With only 15 seconds left in this game, Bash are just buying as much time as possible. You see Nemo on the Rainmaker getting in an awkward spot, though the last one alive. Noir Stars need to get the kill here with 5 seconds left, or else they will not get overtime. 1 second, they do barely manage to kill the Rainmaker in the nick of time. Overtime is starting. Now, M. Night grabbing the Rainmaker. They have to get a push all the way past 40 points in overtime alone if they want to take game 1.
Yeah, that kind of push is not easy on this map. As you said, it's really hard to get your pushes going, but once you have that space, you really can get some momentum. And unfortunately, a Shark by the Slosher takes down the Rainmaker. Oh, that's going to be first game going to Bash. Wow. What a push by Bash. That one push that got them down to 40 points. Just so many picks, especially those picks on that high ground. It's especially difficult to get people out of there. Honestly, masterclass of a push there. Just seeing that one happen. I don't know if you could hear from me, but that was pretty much hands in the air, excited at that push, seeing so much action happen. We've got a good game on our hands.
And what I'd like to point out, too, is that the scoreline wasn't even that varied. Only a 28-point difference in this match. And as I mentioned before, Noir Stars with those 2 Splatlings had a very, very strong defense, but unfortunately for them, they weren't in the lead, so that defense didn't amount. It helped them not lose harder than they did, but they needed to generate those offenses, and they could never find any holes in Bash's defense. As you can see there, the game ending because in that overtime, Bash is able to play more confidently. It doesn't matter if they get the trade because they end the game. Now, I don't think that there was a very... Bash takes in game 1. I think that Noir Stars are still in this. They weren't that far behind Bash. It really came down to that one single push. And there weren't really any other pushes this entire game. So I'm wondering if the rest of the series will come down to which team can get that one good push, or maybe we'll see Noir Stars kind of up the ante on their offense and start to bring it back.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. Maybe on a different mode, maybe on clams or zones, the double splatling comp might work a little bit better. That higher defense might actually account to being able to play those neutral games for a little bit longer, being able to win those maybe more so. It might maybe a different mode or a different map might favor their comp. In this case, I would think it was just the extra speed that Bash had that just really helped them.
And that amount of speed is definitely something that will happen when you have a lot of shooters in your team. But going into Tower Control Shipshape Cargo Co., going to be a little bit of a different story here, as now the objective is not something you can run with. You have to sit on it and hold it. So usually you want to have those really strong midliners, those strong backliners. You can sit on the tower while the rest of your team moves up. And we do see a couple of roster change, weapon changes here. Most notably, Noir Stars bringing out a Roller, a Splatana, and a Gluga.
What an interesting comp. No Cooler as well, may I add, with how dominant Cooler is in the current meta. I like this comp a lot. I imagine that it's a lot of comfort picks, but I think it'll be really interesting. 52, oh, it does look like we have a DC. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I imagine that since this is before halfway through the game and the points haven't gone low enough, that this is just going to be a replay.
Something unavoidable in Splatoon is those DCs, is those communication errors, as, you know, we only pay $20 a year, you know, that whole meme. But I do want to highlight Noir Stars' comp is, you know, at the end of the game one, you talked about how Bash had a much faster composition, and now Noir Stars bringing in a lot of those, as some of my teammates like referred to as melee weapons, those rollers, those in the Splatana Wiper, being able to go in quick and bring the fight to the opponents while you have that Nautilus to stick back on the tower and control that space, and then having that splashdown as well as a tool for when the opposing team gets too close, you have a way to push them back or even get a couple of picks yourself.
I do think, even though they do have some of those more melee options, as you said, their comp might be slowed down again by Glugas and the Nautilus. Once again, those two weapons aren't particularly known for being the fastest weapons ever. You need to charge up with the Splatling. You need to... Your dodge rolls take a while to get out of, and you have a slow fire rate with Glugas, but Glugas, it can be very threatening on open sight lines, especially when it has a wall up. I find these picks interesting, and I don't get to see some of these very often, so I'm excited to see them play.
And one thing I would also like to point out too is the Booyah Bomb on those Glugas. We did recently see Booyah Bomb get buffed in the most recent patch of Splatoon 3. So kind of get to see how they like to play with that faster Booyah Bomb, and maybe see if Bash isn't used to the new Booyah Bomb. Maybe they aren't accustomed to how much quicker those things will come out. Maybe they don't realize how much space they need to give when those bombs are going to come out so much quicker, especially in a mode like Tower Control.
It does look like we're back. Everyone's back in one whole piece in the lobby. Comps. Oh, we do see one comp change from the side of Ping. Maybe that DC was just an accidental misclick on the wrong weapon, but we are going to see the Tri-Slosher Nouveau, not a roller.
Now, the Tri-Slosher Nouveau, also an interesting pick because counterpoint to that Booyah Bomb, we did see Fizzy Bomb actually getting nerfed in this most recent patch, being less optimal and painting less and being less useful in the overall kit. So this Tri-Slosher Nouveau definitely going to be a comfort pick from Ping on the side of Noir Stars, though it does give them a soda, as they were missing from that last composition we've seen from them in the replay.
Yeah, significantly less soda, though, considering that Fizzy Bomb, yes, as you just said, was nerfed, and also it is 210p, but we are going to see quite a big push that we haven't really talked about from the side of Bash. Noir Stars just keeps going down right at the beginning. I don't know if they're being outspeeded. I don't know what's happening, but it seems that they're staggering quite a bit, and the strike's coming out. This is just going to push get their push going further. The Slosher set up on the top right. This might be over. This might be a open, close, shut game with these positions are really strong at... We're just talking about the weapon picks this whole time, and the game's already over.
And just like that, Bash in 1 minute and 8 seconds, taking game 2 already. Very, very quick knockout. Not even time to really register what's going on. Noir Stars especially, I don't think they weren't ready for that speed. You know, they made such a major change to their composition, and they thought they had some solutions, but Unfortunately for them, you can see a minute in and they're taking that last checkpoint here in the replay. They're down 2 members and just unable to find any footing against the side of Bash.
Yeah, it's that top right area, often known as perch. Once the slosher got up there, that slosher makes it, because of the angles it can play, it makes it impossible to retake that area, and because of the high ground of that area, it makes it almost impossible to shoot at the tower because there's someone way above you shooting at you instead. It's almost over once the enemy team gets that position. What a fast game.
It's definitely a very scary position as soon as the opponent's gonna get up there, and especially because it's such a, I mean, on tower control it's a bit easier because you can jump across, but even when opponents are able to get through your hallway, go all the way around and up top, there's always, no matter how your opponents get up there, it's always going to be very scary, especially if you're running a backline comp, and even then it's the highest spot in the map. There's a lot of utility you can get up there from your subs and specials, and as you saw, Bash able to immediately clear all the way through into that court, up to that perch, getting up there with no problems, and an immediate KO. Again, in 1 minute and 8 seconds, we didn't even have time really to react to what was happening because it was so quick and so quiet too. There wasn't any big flashy plays. They just walked in and won.
Yeah, it was just winning fights. Like, the enemy team just lost fights, staggered, and Bash wasted no time gaining momentum off of that. I thought this set would be going on for longer. I thought we might see a 1-1, see a Game 3, duke it out, see who wins, but no, it's just over as quickly as that. I wanted to see, like, clams or zones or something where we might see a more even game, something that might favor Noir Star's slower comp style, but I guess we're not going to see that. We might see that from the next games, but we'll have to wait for that.
And speaking of our next games, we are going to be waiting on our next matches, so we will be taking a quick break. But that game 1 was Bash versus ULL Noir Stars. Bash taking it 2-0. And that was our Division 2 Swiss Group B Round 1. And we are going to be back very, very soon with some more CCA Qualifier number 5. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very soon.
falling, 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 'cause you'll start falling, 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 'cause you'll start falling.
Welcome back to round 2 of the CCA Qualifier number 5. We have another match for you. This match is going to be, once again, I'm Astro and Hammy is still here with me. We have a match now between H-Town Rebels, which I believe is University of Houston, and Titans of Alterna Orange from the California State University. I know, Hammy, we've said before that neither of us have a lot of experience with CCA. Both of our first times casting here, so are there any players that you recognize at all?
I've looked through both of these rosters. Unfortunately, there's only one player I recognize, Lagoon, a fellow commentator. We commentated together at Riptide, and they are very lovely. And I'm sure everyone else on both of these rosters are very lovely. That is the nice thing about competitive Splatoon, is that there's a lot of really awesome people. So yeah, both of these teams going to be a bit of a mystery for me as we're walking into it, though. This is a match from Division 1, so this is going to be some of the top caliber players in the CCA. So excited to see what they're going to bring for us here. Again, we have H-Town Rebels again from University of Houston versus Titans of Alterna from California State. So both these teams are getting ready to get into the match. I believe we're still making the room right now, so a little bit of downtime to kind of think about what we want to see, maybe look at our map list and, get to start theorizing about how these teams are going to take this match here. I do actually want to quickly check to see how these teams are sitting right now in the standings. I do believe both of these teams are currently 0-1, so they did lose the first round. So not the start they wanted to start with, so they're looking to kind of come back here and bring it up to 1-1, and we'll be starting this round on Tower Control, Barnacle, and Dime.
Ooh, Tower Control, Barnacle, and Dime. Not a map you see a lot in tournament. Generally has a reputation of being more snowbally, but I think that this map has some of the most fun mid-fights. I do think that a lot of maps that have fun mid-fights get a bad reputation, like Hammerhead Bridge, Umami Ruins sometimes. A lot of people don't like that map. This is another one of those, but I think this map all around is fun to play, but it might be a quick game.
As you say, yes, Barnacle and Dime Tower Control, not a very common map and mode combination you'll see in a lot of tournaments and events, but it's what we're here to play, so each team's going to have to figure out how they're going to want to run it. Now, it's a very flat map, which can cause a lot of problems for a lot of certain players and certain weapons, because there's not a lot of cover to hide behind. There's not a lot of places to set up, kind of awkward to shark certain spots, but when you're able to get into a good position, it is deadly, because it is one of the few positions that you can't take. So I'll be curious to see how these players are going to want to play around that.
Yeah, it is a very flat map. A lot of very small pieces of cover, like little railings that you can hide behind. Those flanks are going to be very important, especially with how especially flat this mode is in mid. No other mode has nothing in the middle of the map. This mode, it doesn't have any sort of structure you can play around in the middle. So those two flanks are going to be extremely important in the neutral game in the middle of the map. You're going to want to be sending your players down there, and you're going to want your players to be watching it like a hawk. Because as soon as you let one player in onto your plat, that could be the game. It could be over with how powerful that position is. It does look like we are going to be going into the match now.
And that is a different map and a different mode than we were expecting. This is Marlin Flat Zone. So they might be... Oh, so I believe this is actually the map and mode we are looking for. We had the wrong ones up on the screen. So a big surprise to both of us. We're not looking for a super flat map. We're looking at a very tall map with a lot of moving platforms, which is the total opposite. Both teams running in here. We got H-Town Rebels in the orange, Titans of Alterna orange on the blue. Confusingly, I know, but... H-Town Rebels down 2 members already. The zone going in the favor of Titans of Alterna. And now they're looking to get a bit of a footing here. The problem, though, there is just players walking in from both sides. And now H-Town Rebels do actually almost take control of the map, but aren't able to do it. And just a huge skirmish in the middle of the map here. A little bit of a confusing start for both sides, honestly.
I think there's something you forgot to point out. We are seeing blue Gadulies once again. I thought this weapon was rare to see, but we've seen it twice in two games. But we are going to see it. It's one down on both sides. That's going to be two down on both sides. 3 down on the side of Titans of Alterna. This is quite a bit of a skirmish. Everyone's just fighting each other. We see a lot of fighting weapons here, especially S-Blast, another rarer weapon, a less consistent weapon, and weapon that's pretty difficult to play, but we are seeing a lot of fighting weapons, so it kind of makes sense that we're seeing a lot of 2 down on both sides and stuff like that. 1 down on both sides. We're going to see this crab come out. Going to go try to retake this fan. This fan's a really important position to take. It gives you a lot of high ground over the zone and also over the enemy team if you're holding it aggressively. We're going to see 2 down on the side of Titans of Alterna. This hold is huge from H-Town Rebels. Only 25 ticks left. That's like 10 seconds. Titans of Alterna needs to make something happen. I don't know if they can. This hammer's coming out and destroying everyone. The strikes are coming out. I think this is over. I didn't think this would be this quick of a game, and there it is. S-Blast coming in right at the last second, trying to desperately paint the zone, but it's not quite good enough. H-Town takes the first game.
Very, very quick match again, ending in less than 2 minutes. Though Titans of Alterna did have the zone for the first little bit, so it wasn't a fully one-sided match, but you could see how aggressive the H-Town Rebels were set up. In this replay here, where they almost won the match, is the first time they were pushed out, but the rest of that game, they were on that elevator. They were up right in the base of Titans of Alterna, not giving them the space to get out. You see, this is the tipping point here where H-Town Rebels able to take the zone. I believe right here the colors might have still been swapped. There was a bit of tech issues in the beginning, but yes, H-Town Rebels taking that game very, very convincingly in, again, as you see here, less than 2 minutes into the match. So a pretty quick one, and I'm excited to see what they're going to bring for us in the next match.
Here we have a more reasonable tower control map, Tower Control Hagglefish Game 3, but we're not going there quite yet. First, we're going to be taking a pit stop at Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker, a map that can sometimes be a little bit tricky to play, a little bit tricky to learn, but those left and right sides of the map, your left side of the map is very important. That's where everyone's going to be pushing the Rainmaker through. Can be a very strong position to have a good oversight of mid on this map. Whoever can control that part of the map, the far left or the enemy's far right side of the map, will generally dictate how this game will flow.
Yeah, now, something interesting to look at is that Marlin is a very angular map. It's very tall. You have those elevators. Whereas Humpback Pump Track is very rounded. There's a lot of curves and edges and, kind of humps and lumps, as it is called, Humpback Pump Track. And so there are a lot of weapons that can take advantage of that. We did see a Slosher in Game 1. That is a fan favorite to pick on that map. Me personally, I used to be a Slosher main, and I always had a field day when I could play my vanilla Slosher on Humpback Pump Track. So interested to see if there's going to be any major composition pick changes here as we're going into Game 2 of Round 2. Here we have your Titans of Alterna coming in with an orange end zap with the super chumps. Not a very common thing you'd like to see, but honestly, very interesting comps from both sides. Looking at these weapons, these aren't things you traditionally see in a lot of competitive Splatoon.
Heavy deco as well, a weapon I haven't seen in a very long time. It's been like since like the beginning of the game, since I saw heavy in competitive Splatoon. It's been a long time. We are going to see one go down on both sides right at the beginning here. Is S-Splash desperately trying to hold on to this far left area, but as I said, this area is very important. Whoever can control this far left and far right of the map dictates how the game flows. Super Chomp's notoriously not a great special on this map, but I'd like to be proven wrong. And that's a wipeout for the side of Titans of Alterna. H-Town Rebels wipes. This is going to be huge. If you can dash for that right side, you probably get a free checkpoint here. And it does look like they are going to dash for it. And there's the... Oh! 1 point away from getting the checkpoint. Almost a free checkpoint. I guess that's a little bit of commentator's curse, as I was about to say they were going to get it. Ugh. And that's 2 down on Titans of Alterna. H-Town Rebels is going to get a fairly quick retake. They're probably going to feel very comfortable with that retake. No checkpoint gotten, and they get mid.
Titans of Alterna, a bit of a scramble to get that checkpoint, but they did eventually get it, which is very important now. We're 1 minute and 20 seconds into this match. No checkpoints left. H-Town Rebels are pushing in to get more points on a runaway here. We see, unfortunately, the orange end zap on the side of Titans of Alterna wasn't able to get in position as fast as they wanted to. That push going to 20 for H-Town Rebels, which is a bit scarier of a number than 48, might I say. But now with their counter push, they're running it along that far left track, trying to drop straight into the elbow and get a very quick push going here. They are going to want more picks. They do get that wiper down. There goes the heavy deco, and there goes the slosher. It's just the Glugadoolies left alive. Titans of Alterna lost the Rainmaker, though. They need to grab this. They got the sodas, and they're walking in for a push of their own. Does get shut down, though, by Complete as they walk through with those Glugas and trying to prove that the Glugadoolies needs to be here. There's that super quick Booyah Bomb we talked about earlier from that new patch, and there's a bit of a scramble on the elbow of H-Town Rebels, but 2 going down to Corn. Can we make it 3? No, unable to get that Ultra Stamp, and it's just a scramble here.
Yeah, almost 3 from the Tri-Slosher. That Ultra Stamp was 1 HP left. But it does look like Titans of Alterna was holding that right side very well, refusing to give it up and only giving it up when they jump out, meaning they get to retain as much of their special as possible. They are 1 down right now, so they do need to be a little bit cautious of people running in. I'm surprised that Titans of Alterna did not pull the lead back there. On a worse day, they might have gotten the lead. It might have gone down to 20, but Titans of Alterna losing the Rainmaker once again. It's 1 down on both sides, but it does look like H-Town Rebels is going to get mid in this situation. 20 is a hard number to push down to. If I was H-Town Rebels, I'd probably feel fairly comfortable. Very, very comfortable to chill, get your specials, play a little bit in mid. But as I say that, 2 go down, maybe a little bit too comfortable. It does look like Titans of Alterna is going to get a second chance at getting this push. This Booyah Bomb comes out, but Reef Slider coming in to just go through the Booyah Bomb, unfortunately getting canceled. 2 down on the side of Titans of Alterna, but it does look like they're all back. Wiper goes down. If they can get this pop and get this right side and stabilize, they might be able to get a push going. 2 down. I don't know. Is this push going to happen or is it not? It's been going back and forth a little bit right now. S-Blast going deep. Are they going to get a kill? Unfortunately, Kraken coming out and gets the Rainmaker, stopping this push. What a back and forth incursion.
Unfortunately for Titans of Alterna, as you mentioned, they're only 10 points away from the lead, but in a mode like Rainmaker, that progress is once the Rainmaker goes back to mid, that progress is reset. You have to get all the way back. So unable to get any value with that push. Titans of Alterna need more picks. They keep consistently getting 1, but they need to get 2, 3, and hopefully all 4 if they want to get a lead here. H-Town Rebels on a push of their own. Toast picking off Corn with that Rainmaker. A lot of auto bombs coming in, actually picking off the Rainmaker because they opted to walk across that unpaintable wall there. So Titans of Alterna getting a comfortable position here in their own base, pushing out H-Town Rebels, ready to make a push of their own. But with only 20 seconds left, there's probably only time for 1 good push here. So they're going to need to play this very carefully, but also very confidently and not overstep their bounds, but also push H-Town Rebels away.
All the specials coming out early from the side of H-Town Rebels, and those specials coming out early makes it so they can't grab the special. All strikes on the Rainmaker, a Booyah Bomb on the Rainmaker. It even looked like someone Reef slid on top of it. All of that just to make sure nobody grabs the Rainmaker in the last few seconds of the game.
This match, there's one way I can describe this match, very scrambly. You can see every time we were on either team's elbow, a huge scramble. Specials coming, you see the booyah, the strikes, the slider, both teams just fighting tooth and nail back and forth, and usually the defending team winning out. And then as you saw at the end of the game, there are lots of specials, lots of fighting in the mid. So both of these teams were just constantly fighting and skirmishing each other, and the only way a victor was chosen was who had a slightly better push, which ended up being H-Town Rebels from that initial push from 48 down to 20. But Titans of Alterna weren't completely out of this game. They had those opportunities. It just came down to running out of time and running out of opportunities where H-Town Rebels were able to have that defense, thanks to those quick booyah bombs, thanks to those strikes, thanks to the Kraken, and thanks to that Ultra Stamp.
Yeah, normally it's just so hard to get onto that elbow area, the far left or the far right side of the map, that once you get there, I think a scramble is the right way to describe it. It's like, oh, what now? We need to try anything we can to try to get this lead.
Now, we do see that H-Town Rebels have taken the set 2-0, but this is a play all three. So as we're in a Swiss right now, we have to determine tiebreakers. So Titans of Alterna still have an opportunity to make this a 2-1 set and kind of help alleviate some of their scoreline later on and maybe win a tiebreaker going into the brackets after the Swiss. Whereas H-Town Rebels, they want to make this a 3-0. They want to prove that they are by far the better team and that they deserve to win. So really excited to see if Titans of Alterna can not get discouraged by those first two losses and still bring out a win here as we're going into Game 3.
We're going to be going next to Hagglefish Tower Control. Another one of those classic maps, not Barnacle and Dime, a more normal tower control map. Honestly, oh, it looks like we're going to be going right into the game. Not a lot of time to talk about the map. I've seen some weird stuff win on this map. Some weird comps that make absolutely no sense. And Paintbrush might be part of that weird comp.
Yeah, both teams coming in here with very different comps. We're seeing the Stamper come out from Colson on the side of H-Town Rebels with the Zipcaster. Not a very common special you're going to see, especially in tower control against a team that is essentially not running a backline. So definitely going to be a very big comfort pick, and I'm curious to see how they're going to be using it in this match.
Yeah, we're also seeing the Neo Splash as well, which is going to help a lot with paint on the side of Titans of Alterna, which is going to help the Paintbrush really shark in. But as I'm saying that, it doesn't seem to be helping right now, as that's a wipeout. Titans of Alterna getting wiped, and this first check is good as clear already. H-Town Rebels going to be getting quite a bit of mileage off of that wipeout, getting up to the second checkpoint already. These positions are amazing. This Stamper is exactly where they want to be. These strikes already coming out to get to the third checkpoint already. Everyone is exactly where they want to be. Like, you do not get better pushes than this. That's it.
In a minute and 5 seconds, H-Town Rebels, as I said, they wanted to prove that they're the better team, and they did it. Walking in and just taking Game 3 before Titans of Alterna even had an opportunity to think about winning it. The positioning for all the players there, the utilization of the specials, you can see even just they were in such a good footing. You saw that Zipcaster coming out when there was a wipeout because they didn't even need it. The crab there on the tower, the crab was consistently in the tower. We saw 2 crabs from Toast in that one push on the tower, just holding the ground, shooting from very, very far away, keeping Titans of Alterna at bay, and ultimately winning that game very, very quickly.
That's 3-0 for H-Town Rebels. It's like we're trying to speed run through tower control. I don't know if in recent memory I've seen tower control go that quickly. Normally with the checkpoints, somebody gets this under the tent area where the first checkpoints is, and you get high ground over it, and you get to fire at it, everyone gets off the tower, and you go back to mid. Like, normally you have that on this map. Not here with what wipeout that happened in the first, was it few seconds of the game? It was really quick.
See, we've seen a lot of very quick matches tonight, both in this set and the last set. So my theory is that it's a Sunday night right now. These are all collegiate players. They're trying to end this really quick so they can go to bed, so they can wake up for classes in the morning. So very quick matches. We've seen a lot of KOs in like less than 2 minutes across some of these sets. So everyone's pretty eager to win here. And again, H-Town Rebels proving that they were a bit more eager, winning this set 3-0 over Titans of Alterna in our CCA Division 1 Swiss group round 2. So congratulations, H-Town Rebels. They're now 1-1 in the Swiss. Titans of Alterna, unfortunately, being 0-2. They're not out quite yet, but they can't get discouraged by the scoreline. They have to start finding those solutions and trying to get some more of those wins going on for the rest of tonight.
Thank you very much for watching this, and we're going to be taking a quick break, and we'll be back with more games. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No, who am I to let you down? Down, down. Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right?
Welcome back, everyone, to round 3 of the Swiss for CCA Qualifier number 5. Once again, I am Hammy, joined by Astro Dwarf, and our next match we have for you is the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth Corsairs versus the Champlain College Champlain Seafoam. So both of these teams are not ones that I'm too familiar with, but we are going in. This is a Division 3 CCA matchup coming for us here. So excited to see how both of these teams are going to be playing in this group. I'm going to do a little bit of snooping and kind of see how both these teams are playing today. Astro, do you have any insight into either of these teams?
The only insight I have is a very dumb one. I see one player by the name of Kellogg's, and I already like this team, UMass Corsairs, just because of one player named Kellogg's. Call it a stupid reason. I don't care. I like teams for dumb reasons. That's also why I choose to commentate for some gimmick tournaments, because they're stupid. Why else? You get a lot of laughs.
So I am looking into this. Both of these teams are currently 2-0 tonight, though both teams have only won 2-1. So neither of these teams have won very cleanly 3-0 sweeps, though. That may just mean that maybe Division 3 of the CCA are all very, very close teams. Hopefully it is. We love when seeding works out and everyone's on a fair playing field. But yeah, the Corsairs versus Champlain Seafoam, both 2-0. Both teams yet to lose a set, so they're looking to continue that on and go 3-0 into round 4 of the Swiss, as we're in a 4-round Swiss tonight. So yeah, we're gonna look at some of the top caliber of Division 3 CCA right here, and I'm excited to look at our maps going into Barnacle and Dime Clam Blitz for round 1.
Finally, we're seeing the Barnacle and Dime. We thought it was last round, but no, it's here. Barnacle and Dime Clam Blitz. More of a standard Barnacle and Dime map you'll see on a tournament map list. Once again, I think all of the same points still stand from both of us, that it has fun mid-fights, but it can often be very flat and feel like it doesn't have a lot of cover, so you need to use those very small pieces of cover, and those two flanks are very important. I think a lot of those points still stand, if I'm not mistaken, right, Hammy?
Yeah, again, it's just a flat map, and Barnacle and Dime is a very interesting one to me, because you'd think that with it being such a flat map, you'd be very hyper-focused on those flank routes, as you talked about. I feel like a lot of people forget about the flank routes. They focus so much on trying to survive in that flatness that they don't really pay attention to those flanks and pay attention to those opportunities that can be generated through those avenues.
Generally, that's what you want to do. You want to have a fast weapon, let's say a carbon, on your team, on one of those flanks, and in mid, you go over here, and you make everyone look at you, whether it's with a crab tank or with strikes or some sort of entry special, and then that one weapon goes in and gets a bunch of kills on plat or forces everyone to back up. It does one of those two things. That's generally what happens with those flanks, and that's why you can forget about it, because everyone wants you not to look at them. They will do everything in your power to make you look anywhere else with every special and every player.
And that's why I love playing support, because I'm the opposite. It's, hey, look at me, like, everyone look at me, come kill me, please, don't look at my teammates. Now, we are having a little bit of a delay getting into this match here, because this is a side topic I want to bring up. We have, I believe, the Champlain College is having, the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth is having another spectator come in, because they're having some of their own students watching it locally, and that is something that's really cool about the CCA, is having students of these schools watching their teams playing in these matches locally from their own stream. And that's just a really awesome thing that I wanted to point out, that, like, you know, being able to come together because of esports and because of Splatoon. And another little side note I want to bring up too is that, remember, we are here live on SplatoonTourney. We do have another stream going on at the same time over at twitch.tv/CCA_Splatoon. So if you're like me and you like to have one stream on each monitor and you have a bunch of Twitch streams going at the same time, you want as much Splatoon action as possible, make sure to check out the other stream. But yeah, it's exciting that we can see so many people brought together by Splatoon and kind of see these people rallying together and having fun with this game. So I just wanted to shout that out to University of Massachusetts Dartmouth with them watching live from home.
Yeah, that is awesome. There is nothing quite like watching Splatoon in a large crowd of people. If you ever go to a LAN tournament, it is very evident. There is a very different vibe to being there in person with a large crowd. Everyone's shouting 3, 2, 1, go! And everyone's going crazy when kills happen. It gets you on your feet as well, even if you don't think you get that crazy over Splatoon. It's always wonderful seeing stuff like that. But we're going into the first game. We're finally here. Clamblitz, Barnacle, and Dime. And as I was giving an example, we are going to see a carbon roller on the side of UMass.
And on the other hand, the Champlain Cerulean, we do see the custom blaster coming out, actually. Oh, as you see, one member is getting DC'd on the side of the Corsairs. They are going to be resetting that there. Maybe comm error, maybe a wrong weapon choice, as we saw earlier tonight, though. Yeah, I did want to focus on that custom blaster because it's not the same sharkiness as you'll see from that carbon deco coming out, but still a very lethal weapon with a very strong one-hit kill potential. In that splashdown, they can be oh so annoying. You can clear out so much space. So both teams taking different approaches to those flank routes and to those frontline opportunities that are generated that you've been alluding to earlier. So kind of curious to see which option each team is going for will kind of play out and come out on top here as we're hopefully getting ready to get back in this match again. Just it looks like we did have a communication error, so just waiting for that last player to come back on board.
I do like the comps I am seeing, though. Very interesting, very fight-heavy comps. We're not gonna see a stally game where one team tries to hold their plot as much as possible. No, we're gonna see people dive at each other. We're gonna see people die, and we're gonna see people hopefully get some clips this game. You always love to see that. Everyone always goes wild when someone gets a triple or a quad.
Now, another point of the comps I'd also like to bring out too. Now, my memory is the worst. So I believe we saw a pencil on the side of the Cerulean Corsair, or Champlain Cerulean. Sorry. So that pencil again with that big open flat map.
Welcome back. It appears that comm errors don't just happen inside Splatoon, but they also happen in real life. Stream went down for a little bit, but we are back. Fortunately, you have not missed anything. The game has not started yet. Sit back down. Don't go get your popcorn. Sit back down. The game is starting. Warning, game is starting.
Sound the alarms, ring the bells. We have the Corsairs and University of Massachusetts Dartmouth versus Champlain College Cerulean coming in. Again, the same comps you're seeing earlier. Yes, I was right. Or actually, no, I was wrong. I believe the pencil is... No, yeah, the pencil is on the side of Champlain Cerulean. I was right. Okay, I was trying to think back and forth where the colors are swapped. But yeah, both teams coming in. We see those flank routes already being utilized by the side of UMassD Corsairs. Yes, there we go. The colors are getting swapped. Thank you, tech support. Both teams kind of getting set up here. We see that pencil already in position, wanting to cause some damage. The shooter's trying to paint out through mid a little bit, getting a bit of a skirmish here. Both teams trying to pick up a couple of clams along the way. The Zuka coming out, getting a couple picks, and right now just it's a scramble in the middle, trying to get any kind of footing or picks or something to generate an opportunity here early on.
Yeah, it seems that both teams are hoping that the enemy team, that they'll just get free picks on the enemy team. Sometimes you just need to go in and try something and make it work. And it does look like UMass might be starting to do that right now, trying to go in and make something work. The splashdown is getting two. It is a little bit of a skirmish, but it does look like UMass is going to get this plat area. Very important for getting your pushes happening. Zuka comes out and gets the zap, unfortunately, and Champlain Cerulean is going to retake their plat, and it's going back to mid. We hope to see some picks very soon. We want to see some some quick action happening so we can see some action. Sometimes clams can get stally like this. You're seeing another Zuka coming out, one going down, but it's only ever one going down at a time. It does look like UMass is going to be getting this, probably this plat area right now. Oh, it does look like a little bit of sharking going on. This duelie's trying to play a little bit of a sneaky play around this plat. Unfortunately, not getting any picks, but we're still just waiting. Oh, Ghoulies gets a kill. We're still just waiting for 2 people to go down. Oh, we finally have that 2-player advantage, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of clams from UMass Corsairs, but the basket is finally going to open after 2 minutes of gameplay. That is the first push of the game. Down to 68.
We're seeing the Champlain Cerulean, they're respecting their opponents a little bit too much, backing up when they should be trying to hold their ground, giving the Corsairs an opportunity to keep walking forward slowly and slowly. As you said, only 1 player ever at a time going down, but getting that 1 pick and having them walk backwards until they got to the basket was all they needed to get 68 on the board. Again, not a huge push in Clam Blitz. Usually you want to pass that 60 threshold in your first push. It's a really good benchmark to hit, and it gives you a lot of comfort room, but a push is a push because as you mentioned before, Clam Blitz can be a very stalematey mode. Both teams now down 2 members each. A lot of picks coming out in the middle of the map, though Champlain Cerulean are currently in control with the paint, and they have a lot of clams on the board. So if they're able to get in, if the Corsairs give them any room, a big push could be coming their way.
Oh, we might be seeing that big push from Champlain Cerulean right now. 2 down. 2 down on both sides, but this ball is going to go in. It does look like Champlain Cerulean is going to back up immediately, though. Probably some unfortunate picks that happened where I couldn't see. They are going to hold on to mid. They're not wiping. They're not letting themselves wipe. They're going to live another day and maybe be able to push again. Once again, on this plat, getting a pick. That's 2 down on UMass Corsairs. You just need clams now. Champlain Cerulean just needs clams. Sometimes the hardest can be the hardest part. Sometimes you can get those picks. You can get that space you really need to score, but you just need some clams to score. Still only this 1 power clam. Send someone to pick up some clams. You need something to score with desperately. You're getting picks still, which is a surprise. You still are holding on to this plat. You're not letting anyone get it, but you still have barely any clams. You can push at any time you want. You just need those clams.
Now, I will say, Champlain Cerulean, if they are only 18 points from the lead, so breaking the barrier will give them the lead. There's only 40 seconds left, so they do need this push, but if they're able to get a push here and break, all they have to do is defend in overtime, which should be fairly easy in a map like this, especially with a pencil. So Champlain Cerulean, they just need to get in with this 1 power clam. They're trying to walk it forward, but they do get a little bit antsy and walk forward into the shots. It's just Alto left on that pencil trying to back up. They do have enough clams here to make a ball, but they get picked. That is a very unfortunate position to get picked off in. Now you need to scramble for a couple of clams. 8 seconds left. Champlain Cerulean, they need those clams. They have 6 across the board, 7. They have 8 across the board. They need to get them to 1 player, and they have a pity clam. I didn't see that, so they do the overtime. They do make that power clam, but they're out of time. They're out of players, and the Corsairs on a heavy defense getting 3 picks. And now all they have to do is defend, but the Blaster's there. They're looking for a jump. They're looking for clams. They can't get it in time. They're running out of time. There's not enough there. The jump comes in, but there's no time left. That overtime counter was not in the favor of Champlain Cerulean in game 1, just barely going to the UMassD Corsairs.
I think this is a very good example of a saying I once heard from one wise coach, that the hardest thing to get in this game isn't kills, it's space. I think that Champlain Cerulean just wasn't really fighting tooth and nail for that space. They were more comfortable trying to go for those picks rather than going for that space, and when UMass Corsairs really went for that space, they got their push down to 68. And from there, Champlain Cerulean just couldn't compete because they just didn't take space as aggressively.
And I like you to bring that up because that's exactly what we saw. As I mentioned before, Champlain Cerulean were giving too much space in the beginning when the Corsairs got that first push. Champlain Cerulean would go down 1 player and they start backing up. And then there was a point where they had the numbers advantage. There were 2 members down from the Corsairs, but they were still pushing up, and Cerulean was giving them that space. And then as we saw in the end there, where I mentioned about 20 seconds left, they needed to just break the barrier and they would have the lead. They got a bit antsy. They didn't have the space. They just decided it was time to walk forward, and they walked directly into the shots from the Corsairs, weren't able to get the barrier break, and ultimately that was the dagger, that was the nail in the coffin, and it caused them to not be able to get any more pushes. They were very close there, though. That blaster sneaking in, looking for those clams, but there weren't enough, getting that jump in, but not enough time. There were so many barely missed opportunities from Champlain Cerulean, but they're not out of this yet. That's just game one. They've shown that they can win this game. They were one single power clam away from winning, so we're going to see how they're going to want to bring it in game two.
Yeah, maybe on a different map, a different mode. Maybe they won't play so safe. I find that a lot of people on clams play so safe. They're so worried about someone maybe running behind them with a brush that they get in this mindset that they need to let no one pass them. Maybe on Robo-Rum and Splat zones, we might see something different. On this map, there are generally two routes you can take into the middle of the map. You can either take the low ground on the left, which is really beneficial to blasters and sloshers, which, I do remind you, there is a blaster on one of these teams. And then the right side, which is very powerful ground to hold from. That's definitely where the pencil wants to be standing. We might see a little bit different playstyle on this map that might be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fight heavy, a little bit more playing for that space.
And we're definitely going to have to see this adjustment from Champlain Cerulean, sorry, because this is splat zones. There's a stationary objective in the middle of the map, and you want to hold that space, because if you don't, and you give leeway, they get the objective. It's in the middle of the map. It doesn't come with you. It's not like a Rainmaker. It's not like the clams. You have to be in the middle. And especially if you have a pencil player, you have the resources to have that space. You just need to coordinate with your teammates, communicate, and to figure out how to keep the opposing side from walking in. Though, again, we saw with the Corsairs, they're very, very good at walking in. So we're going to have to see some adjustments from both teams here and see how they're going to want to play this going into Robo-Rob and Splat zones as we're loading in.
I don't expect to see a lot for comp changes. I think both of these comps still work on this map. I think the NZAP Carbon comp still works. Blaster, Pencil, all of them work very well on this map. I don't see any reason anyone should change their comp. Maybe for the strikes. I can see the strikes getting some paint on that zone, forcing people to back up. An interesting pick. We're going to see the Splattershot Forge. Probably from the last Splatoon patch that just happened recently, the most buffed weapon. Its special and its main weapon were both buffed a significant amount. We're gonna see what looks like it's probably gonna, yes, an early cap from UMass Corsairs. Although one's going down, it does look like it looks like Champlain Cerulean is going to be a little bit more assertive this time, not let them get that splat zone for free, which is a very good thing. I like to see this change. We're going to pushing all the way up onto this choke area. This is a very valuable position for them to be in. The strike's going to push them out, but I imagine they could probably get back in there. I imagine they can't. Oh, it does look like the zone is going to flip on the side of UMass. I'm struggling to keep up right now. Champlain Cerulean, everything's just folded on top of them. They're back in their base now. Everyone went down in a very short amount of time. That was a quick retake.
Both of these teams are bringing a lot of specials and a lot of weapons that are very good at splat zones, and especially good for this map and holding that space. Now, something interesting I wanted to bring up is notice how both teams have a Nautilus, but both teams bringing the different Nautiluses. Champlain Cerulean aiming to bring that more supportive Nautilus with the rain and with that point sensor to give their team more space and more information, whereas UMassD Corsairs bringing the more aggressive Nautilus with the splashdown of the bomb, where it's quicker and snappier and able to fight a bit better. So interesting to see those two strategies, though. UMassD Corsairs coming in here with the more aggressive comp and with 5 ticks left, looking to take this game very, very quickly, as only one player left in Champlain Cerulean, and UMassD Corsairs taking the set 2-0 so far in a very, very quick knockout here.
I'm surprised we didn't see Pencil on that map. I only noticed it now. We saw NZAP on both teams, no Pencil. That Pencil often is really good at being able to put paint on the zone, even though your team isn't able to push into the zone, forcing the enemy team to back up and paint that zone, make sure the Pencil isn't going to cap it under their noses. But we didn't see any of that. We saw a lot of shorter range weapons, a lot of fight heavy weapons, longest range weapon being the Nautilus. I'm surprised by these comp changes, actually, now that I'm looking back at them.
I do really like the composition from the Corsairs here. You saw in one of those replays, Champlain, yeah, here it comes right now. Champlain, Cerulean have the zone, but you see the splashdown on the right half, you see the Reef slider on the left half, and it's an immediate cap. And then from that point onwards, they controlled the map. Champlain, Cerulean didn't get any more points on the board. UMassD Corsairs had a great entry into the zone, and they also had a comp that allowed them to hold the Cerulean away from the zone. So a very well-rounded composition there with a lot of weapons. You can tell they're very niche picks. So that means that these players are very, very comfortable with them. So once again, this is a play all three. So Champlain, Cerulean are not out of this match yet. They do get an opportunity to make this a 2-1 set going into Manta Maria Rainmaker.
Yeah, Manta Rainmaker. This map feels different from anything else in the game. It feels wild with the street area. You have high ground all around you, but that high ground also gives an advantage to weapons like Carbon or Slosh are able to slosh over them. This is another blaster map once again.
Yeah. Now here's a question for you, Astro. Manta Maria is a very, very widely contested map. How do you feel about Manta Maria? Are you a fan or are you a hater?
I used to be a big hater of this map. Back when I was in pencil jail playing that so much, the map feels hard when you're on defense. The defense is incredibly difficult. You have very few good angles to play. It's very hard to hit anyone, and anywhere you can hit someone is a place where someone can slosh over a wall and hit you. But now that I've been playing other weapons, been branching out into more Slayer style weapons, this map has parts of it that are fun. It's a lot of fun. People get separated into a lot of 1v1s in this map, I find. That Plat being a very prominent example that someone takes mid and someone just gets caught out there and it becomes a 1v1. Whoever wins the 1v1, probably their team will retake mid. I find that there's just a lot of those fights that make the map interesting when you're not on a backline weapon.
And that's definitely one of the things with this map is that mid area is so wide. Those two plats, or I believe the stages I like to call them, are so large by themselves. And then there's the entire middle of the map. There's the mass with the catwalks across it and like the bunkers. There's so much room in the middle of the map, and it spreads your team pretty thin. So yes, there is a lot of opportunities for those one-on-ones, but at the same time, you need to try to find those opportunities to make sure that you aren't fighting 1v1s to give yourself more consistent wins. So it's really up to these teams to position themselves correctly and play to their weapon strengths, because every different weapon has a different position they want to take in this map, because there's a lot of variety when it comes to the middle of the map here. So we're seeing a lot of familiar weapons coming in here. I don't believe is there any weapon changes? I think those might just be the exact same comps as game 2. I think everyone's feeling pretty confident.
It's just kind of if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of situation. You have 2 wins. You have 2 wins with some of these weapons. Like, why would you change it at this point if it's working into the other team? UMass taking a huge amount of space right away and already getting this early Reef slider and getting 1 pick. Wait, this is a massive amount of space that this Dreadringer is pulling off. That immediate left flank into like 2 kills. Yeah, this is a free first checkpoint for the side of UMass Corsairs. I don't know if I've seen anyone move that fast through Manta Maria right away, and UMass is spending no time making sure that they are continuing this push, trying to make this an early knockout. What is it with game 3 and being a fast game? I don't know. It does look like this push is finally going to stop. Maybe not. These jumps are still coming in, and This pro is unable to get UMass Corsairs out. At any point, this Rainmaker could pop and UMass could just dive the Rainmaker and score it. It's right beside the pedestal. But as I say that, 3 people are going to go down, and that's a delayed wipe. And Champlain Cerulean is finally going to be able to retake.
Very scary opening if you're a fan of Champlain Cerulean, though. One of those things we talked about earlier is that once this Rainmaker is reset, we're back to square zero. So UMassD Corsairs, if they want to make a bigger push, they'll have to get all the way back there. So this match is really up to Champlain Cerulean to see if they can get a better push than 25. If they want to make the scoreline a bit better going into round 4 of the Swiss. A lot of specials coming from both sides. Now, Champlain Cerulean do get 3 down, so they're looking to make a good push here, trying to win that 1v1 on the last player while getting this Rainmaker in. Indigo trying to get up to this checkpoint, not getting picked off. They do get picked off by Kellogg's. Actually, the rest of the Corsairs showing up here now. They get the checkpoint, but not in a very convincing fashion, as now it's heavily contested here in this elbow.
I think there's a weapon behind them. Yeah, there's a blaster behind UMass. Do they see it? They must see it. It's behind them on their deck area, I believe. I don't know if they're still there, but that could have been very scary if that blaster got some picks. Yeah, they're not behind them anymore, but that could have been very scary if they didn't see it and take care of them off camera. It's finally going to be able to retake, and they're spending no time taking this bunker area and the splashdown, getting a pick. What a beautiful splashdown spot. I don't know if I've seen that one before. And that's a double for the Nautilus. That's another player. There's a lot of picks going on, a lot of quick fights going on. Blaster caught a little bit out of water, lacking a little bit of ink, but is going to splash down, get a kill. This Rainmaker's all by themselves. They really need some support right now. That's another pick for the Blaster. Make that, oh, not quite a triple. That's going to be an assist for that 3rd kill. UMass...
Impressive there by Cyan, walking in, splashdowning one of the jumps, directing the other one, and just constantly pinning the Rainmaker in a corner while killing every single player that jumps in. So very, very good follow through there by Cyan on the side of Champlain Cerulean, though. Now, they need to try to get some more picks here because they need to get grouped up when they get those picks. They had 3 down. It was just the Rainmaker, but they weren't in a position to push. And again, the Rainmaker was still being held by the Corsairs. So now they're in possession of the Rainmaker. They have the objective. They can push it, but with 1 minute and 10 seconds left, they need to start generating some opportunities here. Kind of skirmishing back and forth, trying to get some picks. They do get a straight pick there on the Nautilus. They have no specials online, though. Here comes the Reef Slider. Did not get as much value as they wanted. 2 down now. The Corsairs might have gotten a bit antsy, but no, a bomb picks off 2 members of Champlain Cerulean.
25 is not that much of a lead, though. This, if you can get the Rainmaker past the street, drop it into the pit, the score goes down very quickly. I think Champlain Cerulean is nowhere near out of this game yet. 1 push, and they can get this lead easily. 25 is not that much. We just need to see something, some sort of special to get them in, and we see 2 specials. Wait, this might be lead. That's lead! Down to 16. The Rainmaker's still alive, all the way by the pedestal, down to 5. What a lead! And it looks like they're going to try to extend that lead a little bit further. These weapons from Champlain Cerulean trying to pop the Rainmaker once again, or at least stall it. Not letting the other team picking it up again. And that's a knockout! What?
Champlain Cerulean were not content with this being a 3-0. And now continuing the history again, both of these teams have only seen 2-1 sets tonight. And as we're continuing that trend with now Champlain Cerulean taking game 3, just an impressive very end of the game there. They didn't look like they were going to be able to find those entrances, but they were able to find it. Now, well, it's topical here on the screen, the replay from my guy RDB. Look at that slider, getting the pick, throwing the bomb on the wall to get the double. That was such an impressive suction bomb placement right after a really good Reef slider. So I just wanted to point that out, that those Reef sliders will, typically that geometry is not great, but a lot of those resliders from Micah RDB this game have been so on point. Unfortunately, though, we did see one where they got a bit more antsy. It gave Champlain Cerulean a chance to get in towards the end of the match, and that is the push that ultimately led them to getting that KO. So shoutouts to players on both sides of this. There's a lot of strong individual play from all 8 of these players across the board.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these players got their time in the spotlight. We saw the Blaster like solo retaking mid, getting jumps, and then just pushing the Rainmaker back, We saw that Dread's opening. I don't even think that was the only time we saw the Dread in the spotlight. I'm sure we've seen some other plays from him. Like, we saw a lot of really good plays. A lot of what you might call clips. Show that to your friends. Probably one of the more exciting games we've seen tonight.
Yeah, and it's just that back and forth of, you never know which team's kind of going to take it. Because when we saw that opening push, we really did think that the UMassD Corsairs had it, because they got a strong push, in the first minute of the match and had a strong defense. But we saw the Champlain Ceruleans, they kept pushing, finding those opportunities. And we saw the Corsairs getting a bit antsy, using some specials early, pushing in early, and getting picked off because of it. And that ultimately did give the Champlain Cerulean a chance to kind of get in and strut their stuff and show that they're not a total pushover, again, winning that match, making the set 2-0. Though that being said, the Corsairs do take the set. They are now going 3-0 into round 4 of the Swiss, and the Champlain Cerulean going 2-1, which is still a really impressive scoreline. There's a lot of pretty strong teams here in the CCA, so I wouldn't hang my head for that at all.
Yeah. I don't know what else to add. Like, I think you got it all covered. That
yeah.
It's continuing the streak of going 2-1 for both of these teams. It was a very well played game by everyone. We are going to be taking a short break. We still have more games yet.
Actually, I do believe and by short break, it is a very, very, very short break, as we already have our next round ready. So I think we're just going to go straight into it here. Our next match is going to be Octos and Squids United Gray versus CSUDH Gold. Now, I'm not American. I'm a Canadian. So I look at CSUDH and I'm like, I have no clue what college that is or university. So I'm going to quickly look up these teams, because I'm curious to see where these teams are from. Again, CCA being the Collegiate League for Splatoon, so all these teams are attached to a university or school of some kind. Yes, CSUDH is California State University. Dominguez, I don't know. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry.
I would have butchered it as well. I'm not American either. I'm also Canadian.
Why did they bring 2 Canadians into? I mean, I will say there are Canadian teams in the CCA. I do believe we're getting some more Canadian collegiate teams, which I do love. I think that's really awesome, because when I was in university, I really wanted to have a Splatoon team. But yeah, so we're going to be coming into this match again, and our other team, Octos and Squids United Gray, they are from Ohio State University.
I'm glad to hear that there are more Canadian teams joining. I have some home teams now to cheer for, finally!
Anyway, so with this next set, we are going to be going to Sturgeon Shipyard Tower Control for round 1. Now, we did see Sturgeon Tower, or no, so that was I always mix up Sturgeon Shipyard and I'm blanking on the name. Sturgeon Shipyard and
once you say it, I'm probably gonna say I also confuse these two.
I'm glad that we're both playing. Anyway, yeah, so Sturgeon Shipyard Tower Control. This one is very interesting because it's very snowbally. You start at the highest point of the map, and as you go down, like, you literally snowball, because you do go down as you go, and once you start that push, it's really hard to stop it sometimes. So this map can be kind of scary if you don't have a good footing on your window area.
I believe it's Eeltail Alley that I always confuse with Sturgeon. I don't know if that's what you confuse it with as well. But yeah, it can snowball very quickly once it gets past that second checkpoint area. I do think that second checkpoint area where it starts to dip down into the pits, I think it's very difficult to get the tower past there, but once it does, it's a lot of smooth sailing. It's really a game of whoever can get past that checkpoint first really often takes the win on this map.
I will say the other map that I was confused with is Ship Shape. Sturgeon and Ship Shape, because they're both, it's the palindrome, it's both not the palindrome, the alliteration, they're both the S names, they're both shipyards. It messes up my brain every time I see it in rotation on map lists. But yes, Sturgeon, very snowballing map, very interesting one, because it has a lot of verticality and just a lot of positions for those midliners and those backliners to take. So it can be kind of a scary map if you're a frontline, because if you're not careful, there's a lot of positions where you can get picked off by some of those very strong weapons like those pencils. Even Squeezer, a very popular pick on this map on those grates. A lot of different Splatlings like Nautiluses. So definitely a different map than what we were seeing in some of those earlier ones, where the frontliners are the ones that have to be careful because they don't really have a great advantage here. But if they can get in position, they can do some pretty amazing things.
Yeah, I mean, this map has a lot of routes to move as a fighting weapon. You have the spinner that you can move up onto the enemy team's snipe. You can move around the left into the pits, often not a route that's often used because it takes a long time and it's very open, very dangerous, but it can have a huge payoff if nobody catches you. You can move around the right, which is where that second checkpoint of the tower is. There's a lot of options for moving around. You can move underneath the middle of the map. We're gonna see probably some people trying to frantically find somebody they don't know where they are. With how many places you could be. Everyone's had this in competitive. There's a carbon on the other team. You know they have to be sharking somewhere. Everybody's frantically trying to find where they are, and then he just pops up and kills somebody. Well, you know where he is, but one of you paid for it.
And that's how, like, that's not even like a map specific thing. That's just Splatoon, because that is a mechanic that no other game has. Is this is a third person shooter, but you can go on the ground and hide. That's not like a common thing in other shooters. So the mobility, the movement, and just like the stealth mechanics in this game are very interesting, and ones that you always have to keep an eye out for. And that's why I'm never a good backliner, because I'm very bad at being aware of my surroundings and seeing those people who are hiding in ink. So huge props to people that can do that. But for me, that's why I like those support roles, because I love point sensor, just spamming point sensors left and right. Like, they can't hide. I know where you are now. So we'll have to see how these teams would like to play it here. Again, I'm not familiar with some of the players from these teams, so just seeing what they would like to bring into this match, that's always one of the exciting parts going into a new set in a Splatoon tournament. Is we have no basis on what these players like to play traditionally, and even then, Splatoon, there's people who like to flex a lot to different weapons. So we'll see what they want to bring here.
I think on that flexing to a lot of weapons, I think we have seen a fair amount of flexing to other weapons. Maybe not in the last set we just had. There was a lot of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A lot of running the same comps once it works. But before that, we've seen people going from pencil, and then all of a sudden it goes to Robo Ramen, and now they're on NZAP. We've seen people go from carbon to other weapons. Like, people have been switching weapons a lot. We've seen Glugas twice already. We've seen Tri-Slosher. We've seen a lot of different weapons that you don't normally see, and I really like seeing those. They play differently. Sometimes seeing pencil shot comps can get a little bit stale. Seeing that your pencil's standing there again. Yeah, your shot has a Zuka again. Yeah, your shot got another double with a Zuka. Yay. But seeing, I don't know, a Gluga roll in with a wall and get a double, that's exciting to me. Seeing those things you don't normally see, that's what I really get on fire for.
And that's the nice thing with that recent patch, is we did see a lot of buffs to some less traditional weapons, as well as the Booyah Bomb buff was really good, because as you mentioned before, the Glugas aren't a popular pick, but I don't think you should sleep on the Glugas. I thought they were already pretty good before. I don't play dualies personally, but the ability to have a 2-shot weapon where you have a splash wall similar to a gal, but you can roll directly into the splash wall and be in a perfect position to not die is a very interesting dynamic, I think. I love those weapons that can play off of their kit. And now with that Booyah Bomb being so much faster and doing more damage to bubbles, it's a very lethal weapon. So I'm expecting to see more Glugas going forward, as well as the other Booyah Bomb weapons. Again, we saw a Forge earlier tonight with that buff to its accuracy, as well as the buff to that Booyah Bomb. So I'm glad that this patch can maybe bring in some more less common weapons, and as well as some other stuff that got buffed, like, the Luna Blaster, the Nozzle Noses. I mean, we're probably not going to see a lot of Nozzle Noses. Same with the Gootuber, like, that no one really brings that out in competitive, as much as I'd love to see it. So at least we're seeing some variety tonight, and as you said, that's the exciting part. It's more diverse, more fun, and more interesting than some of the common comps that you're going to see a lot in competitive Splatoon.
Now, Hammy, I need to know, what is the strangest weapon you want to see in competitive Splatoon?
That is a very easy question to answer, because for those of you who don't know me, I am a reflux one trick. I love my funny little bow and arrow. I think it has a lot of value, and I think it's a very versatile weapon. It has a very high skill ceiling, and it adds a lot to a team comp because it is a very, very hyper support that can play a lot of different roles. Like, you can get one-hit kills on it. You can pain a lot. You can do a lot of call-outs to their positioning. I think it adds a lot to a team. It just takes a lot more effort to play than a lot of other things, and it has a couple of drawbacks. So I'm very biased. I'd love to see more refluxes because it's very, very lonely as one of the few reflux players in competitive. But that being said, now everyone's loading in. It is battle time. We are going to see what these teams are going to bring out. Let's see if we have any fun niche picks and see how they want to play Sturgeon Shipyard Tower Control.
Oh, no reflex yet, but we are going to see a Squiffer. Let's go. That's a W for niche weapons. I love this weapon. Probably the closest weapon you can get to reflux without actually getting reflux.
That is true. People do when I play reflux, people are like, oh, you play like a Squiffer. I'm like, oh, do I? Whoops. Now, anyway, enough about us. Let's look at these players again. We have that Squiffer coming in here. Very interesting pick, though. I want to point out that means there are 2 bubble users on the side of CSUDH Gold. So very interesting. Obviously, bubbles can be very helpful in tower control. Can keep you away from danger, and Octos and Squids United don't really have a lot of good options for shredding that bubble. They have those strikes, but other than that, that's kind of their only utility.
Yeah. It's going to be very difficult to get this tower in. I don't know if their strategy is just to put a bubble on tower and cycle bubbles on tower, try to make whoever's on the tower safe. But then again, there's also strikes that can just shred through the bubble and stop the tower entirely. But it does look like I'm just going to call them Gold. That's too many letters. Gold is going to get to this second checkpoint. They really need to get on top of this plat area. If they can get up there, this is a already done game, but it does look like everyone's going to back up. It is a very dangerous position if you can't get onto that high ground. It does look like they're going to back up to mid, and we're going to go back to a neutral game. 52 Gal might be able to get a couple of picks here. This ramp can be very dangerous, very easy to get some very quick picks from some unsuspecting people who are trying to retake. Tower is going back. Gold is trying to push once again, but it does look like they're going to go 2 down and going to have to back up and respect some of this space a bit.
CSUDH is keeping on that constant pressure, not letting the tower go into their own half, though. As I said, Octos and Squids do get to that first checkpoint now, trying to get through it. They do have the numbers advantage, though their Decapitator does go down, but that is the checkpoint in their favor. 2 members of CSUDH are on the flank, though. Dio turns around, gets one, gets traded out, but the other member going down to the Inkjet, I believe now. Players going down left and right on both sides. Tower slowly going back to mid. We see Octos and Squids kind of backing up, trying to salvage what they can from that push, while CSUDH are getting ready to walk back into the side of Octos and Squids and cause more mayhem.
Edit is set up very comfortably, and as I say that, they drop into the low ground and they die. That's not very good for them. I would have liked to see them stay on that Grates. That Grates is really good for making sure the tower doesn't go anywhere, but people are going down left, right, and center. This tower is in a prime position to be pushed past this checkpoint and possibly to the end of the map. I don't know what's going on in mid, but this Edit is going crazy, preventing anybody from getting those strong positions to get this quick wipeout. Gold will not go down that easily. CSUDH Gold will not go down without a fight. This game is not over. Octos and Squids United Gray is going to get their retake that they need.
Now we saw Vio with that double kill preventing the push, though Danny was still alive, able to get a couple jumps in, though now CSUDH Gold going back down after all those jumps. They're losing some of that mid control, though they're constantly jumping back in. They're always ready to go. They're playing together here. We see all the shooters working together. Octos and Squids United are getting this tower forward slowly but surely. They need to get through this last checkpoint if they want to try to get a lead here with 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Though they go down 2 players, but they're still pushing forward. Chips playing a very aggressive Rapid Blaster here behind 2 members, getting one going in the air, but getting picked off by Danny on that Squiffer, able to hit the shot, showing time and time again that Danny is able to aim on that Squiffer and get those picks now. Putting the bubble in the tower, CSUDH have the lead. They're just trying to push this tower as far as possible, because they want to make it inconvenient. They want to make sure that if the overtime starts, they have to push so far that it's just not plausible, and they'll be able to get some kind of position to break the tower now. Slowly going forward, Danny riding this tower, now getting more points on the board. 10 ticks, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Hey, there's the wipe out just for good measure. CSUDH were already in the lead, and they walked in there, wiped them out, and took game 1.
I would like to point out that after the wipeout happened, all of CSUDH was on the tower together to celebrate their win. They all pushed the tower together the last few points to the end.
I mean, what else is there to do? You wiped them out, you've won the game. Like, just hang out in the tower.
Wow. There was a few doubles, maybe even triple kills that just barely happened off camera. I would have liked to see from the perspective, but that's a good thing. Not necessarily that they were off camera, but we're seeing a lot of fights happen. We're not seeing those stally games where people are like, are you moving first? Am I moving first? We're seeing a lot of fights happen. Even the Squiffer got to see their time in the spotlight, getting a few picks, and even though they spent a lot of time on the tower, seeing this Edit double once again, that's just what Edit does. People with short-range weapons walk into it, and it gets a double.
I'm also enjoying the confidence in a lot of these weapon picks. Again, we've seen Danny on the Squiffer on the camera a lot, getting a lot of those picks, as well as the Rapid Blaster on the side of Octos and Squids, playing a very aggressive position, like getting behind some players, getting those directs, which always aren't that easy in a Rapid Blaster, and getting a lot of value out of that inkjet. We didn't see it on the camera spectator a lot, but I did see a lot of the shots flying in from the sides and getting assists or getting picks, and just a lot of confidence coming from these players with these weapons. And that's what you like to see, is you like to see when people are playing the weapons that they like because they know they're good at them, and not just playing weapons because they're strong.
Yeah, I think confidence is probably the right word here. I'm glad that we get to see a Squiffer not just picked because it has bubble and point sensor, but because they actually do play the weapon. Squiffer was my first love for weapons. I always wanted to be a Squiffer main in competitive, but sadly, I was always relegated to pencil because it's the, quote, meta charger. And, now, quote, we want to win, why are you throwing with a Squiffer? Or something like that.
Now, and one thing I'd like to point out too, again, I mentioned before, is that they had that double bubble comp from the Junior, from the Squiffer, and Octos and Squids United didn't really have anything to combat that. So those constant bubbles in the tower did help them get that victory. And that's one of those cases where sometimes it's just unfortunate. You haven't played a team against a team yet I mean, they may have played, they probably played in the past, but like today, they don't know what they're going to bring for game one. But now, Octos and Squids United, they've been able to see how CSUDH wants to play, and maybe they can think about bringing some more specials that are better for the mode in order to prevent anything like that, like those double bubbles. Obviously, the double bubble is mainly good tower control. Other modes might not help as much, so we're going to want to see potentially some adjustments to some mode-specific specials, or maybe they're just going to keep what they're doing and say, no, that first match, that was a fluke. We're actually going to win game 2.
Speaking of modes, we're going to be going to a different map and a different mode now. We're going to be going to Clamblitz on Inkblot Art Academy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're going to be going to Inkblot Art Academy Clamblitz. I think we could see a lot of similar weapons here. I think Squiffer on that left ramp can feel unfair at times. It can feel really unfair just poking up below that corner, and it gets a pick on the entire other side of the plat because it has more range than you think it does. Even like Rapid Blaster, its Inkjet and also its ability to poke and throw torpedoes at the enemy's plat, going to be huge to move people around to stop them from doing their stall tactics they're going to want to do on this map. They're going to want to shoot at the one ramp that everyone wants to move at and not let anyone up there.
And something to note too, we've been talking a lot about the recent patch tonight just because this is the first CCA qualifier since the most recent patch. The torpedoes actually got a range buff, so you can throw them further now, so you can be even more annoying from even further away. Yay! So that, I mean, I like playing Rapid Blaster, so I'm actually kind of happy about that. But at the same time, I'm also hate when I fight them. So they should buff it when I play it, but when other people play it, they should nerf it. I think that would actually be a great change to the game, personally. But
John
yeah, going in...
give me a custom copy.
So going into game 2 here, we're seeing the same comp coming out from CSUDH Gold, and from Octos and Squids United, they are bringing out the Carbon Deco and the Vanilla Splat Dualies here, which are going to be a couple interesting picks.
Ooh, I like what I'm seeing with this comp. Although it is a fairly low paint output comp, it's going to be difficult to play into, especially 3 short-range shooters. We could see some very interesting plays from this. This edit's going to have to work very hard, though, but we are going to see 2-2 down on the side of Octos and Squids, and it does look like CSUDH is going to be taking mid right off of the bat. That kind of happens when you have a lot more paint than the enemy team. It's a lot easier to take mid, a lot faster to take mid. I'm going to see this edit trying to retake mid, trying to take this 1v1 against the Gal, but which way is it going to go? We're not going to quite see. It looks like both teams are handshaking the fight for now. It does look like CSUDH is putting a lot of pressure on that left side, throwing a wall there. The Gal's trying to play there. Even the Squiffer rotated around there for a little bit. That left side is really important to mix up your opponents, not let them just focus on one ramp the entire game. Octos and Squids is going to be moving into mid, though. And as you said, these torpedoes, putting a lot of these torpedoes with that extra range, able to hit the plat. The Gal gets a flank. It's a lot of back and forth, but not a lot of clams being scored right now.
Now, one thing to point out, though, we didn't see it on the camera, but I believe Jalen on that NSAP on the side of CSUDH did break the basket earlier, and there again, once again, the basket has been broken. CSUDH has had a lot of clan control over this entire game, already breaking the basket twice in the first minute and 30 seconds. Octos and Squids now do have a lot of clams because they got the pity clam from that first break. They have the second pity clam now, starting to get a bit of map control after 2 very, very short pushes from CSUDH, only getting the 2 power clams each time. But Danny, I'm walking through, just getting that really quick pick. What a nice shot, making a power clam, and I believe going to be scoring now. It doesn't matter the rest of their team is dead. They're in the base of Octos and Squids, scoring, putting out a bubble, getting picked off by Vio now. Octos and Squids need to watch their different options because they've already been scored on 3 times in the first half of the match.
Although they've been scored on 3 times, Octos and Squids just needs 1 good push. Maybe wiping the other team, and that wiping on the other team, sorry, I was looking at the wrong players, is not happening right now. They just need 1 wipe on the other team, and that could be a massive lead that is unbeatable by CSUDH Gold. But we're gonna have to wait to see that. Not quite yet. Not enough clams and not enough picks to really get that. Not the positions you want. CSUDH Gold is going to retake here. This duelie's going to be trying as much as possible on this left side to not let them retake, but finally has to give up. There's enough paint control that the duelies can't keep going. It does look like we're going to have Cooler and Inkjet ready from Octos and Squids. As soon as their teammates respawn, we might see a big push happen. We might see some big space be taken.
Now, we do see a lot of clams on the side of CSUDH. Octos and Squids, not so much. Both teams do have the power clam, though, and that's the important first step to actually getting a push going. Well, I guess the most important step is getting the picks, which both teams are in a bit of a skirmish. We do see one member going to CSUDH, but now one member's with Octos and Squids, so once again, kind of this back and forth where both teams are a scramble. Even the cameras of the players are kind of shaking around because they don't know where to aim, but a wipeout on CSUDH from Octos and Squids. They walk in, they break the basket, 2 more clams, 1 more clam to the lead. Are they able to get it? No, but here comes Chips running in. Can they sacrifice for it? They do get the lead. But with a minute left, they need to get this map control back, because if CSUDH can get this map control, they have a very easy time pushing in. And if they break the basket, that is a lead. They'll have a 1 clam lead, essentially, once they get that basket open. So they have 45 seconds to do so. They do have the pity clam from that push, and they're looking for some kind of an opportunity here to get in.
This is a very scary moment for Octos and Squids. They did pull a lead, but oh, this 52 gal's on plat. This is not what you want to see. This 52 gal might be mowing through everyone. And that's the lead swap for CSUDH Gold. Everyone's just trying to dive in the clams. I didn't even notice. It went all the way down to 27. When did that happen?
They got 2 power clams in. Yeah, they got in multiple power claims in the push. We saw a lot of members of CSUDH getting picked off, but they were getting picked off after they got their clams in. Vio jumping in here to start the overtime push, getting that clam in, though an awkward position. They weren't able. Well, they did. They jumped in the other power clam, but it was blocked by a splash wall. And even then, that wouldn't have been the lead. They needed another 2 clams after that to get the lead. We see CSUDH celebrating there as they're taking this game 2-0. Not over yet because it's a play L3, but they have won the set, which is very important.
I didn't think that last jump would be camped by a splash wall of all things. I saw the jump. I thought it was over. I thought the lead was flipping. I thought it was down to 20 points. That's lead. I thought Octos and Squids had it.
But yeah, CSUDH, very persistent this game. Again, we saw them break the basket 3 times to get down to 60 points. And then ultimately losing that lead, but then a huge push at the end where that persistence paid off. Yeah, you see here in this replay, Octos and Squids, they did just push, 1 single time and just walk through, get the lead. Chips walking in, sacrificing for those clams. And at the time, it was a great play, but just here, CSUDH coming in, there's that 1 power clam, there's that 2nd power clam, and another couple clams on top of that, getting picked off a bit too late, falsetto, and not able to get those picks as quickly as they wanted. And yeah, this push here, unfortunately, we can't see it on the camera, but that super jump coming in, the splash wall getting put down by the gal. Such a good placement from Mish, able to completely block out any hopes and dreams from the side of Octos and Squids United.
I will say, every time this set I have seen the Squiffer flank, there's just Mission Impossible music going on in my head. It's just like dun 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 dun, just sneaking around to the Squiffer and you're gonna get a quick kill. Do you get that as well?
Yeah, I not only that, when I will admit, when I play like competitive, there are times where I start out loud doing the Mission Impossible theme in comms when I'm trying to do a sneak play. I'm a support player. I'm not allowed to do it often. When I do start playing that frontline role for a bit, immediately I'm just locked in. I'm acting like a secret agent trying to break in, and everyone hates me for it. It's great.
Of course, flooding the comms with your beautiful singing as well.
Yeah, exactly. That is when I am not I either give the most helpful comms or I am completely flooding the comms. There's no in between, and you have to kind of get me on a good day if you want me to be a good teammate. So that being said, I think we're waiting on a couple of players to come back in the lobby. It seems like the lobby kind of thinned out a bit. I'm not sure if people thought it was over or if there were some communication errors, which we have seen a couple of those tonight. So I wouldn't put it past it. But yeah, so this set is not over. CSUDH gold is up 2-0, but Octos and Squids still have an opportunity to take one match in this set and give themselves a better tiebreak going into the bracket, as this is the last round of the Swiss stage, and after this there will be the actual bracket for the qualifier.
Yeah, that one win might be the one win you needed to get into a higher bracket. It's just how it works. Based on how many wins and losses you have determines which bracket you get put in. It could be the one win you need. It's happened to me before. But we are going to be going to Mako Mart next. I believe on Splat Zones. I will need to be made absolutely 100% sure on the stream.
I would confirm with you, but also I have a terrible memory. And yes, there it is, Mako Mart Splat Zones.
Man, two Canadians with terrible memories. Who thought this was a good idea for a stream?
Yeah, but... so I am looking over at the bracket. Yes, both of these teams going into this match are 2-1. So CSUDH will be going 3-1 in the Swiss stage. Octos and Squids United going 2-2. But like I said, they are fighting here to get a better tiebreak score so that maybe they can get pushed up into a better bracket. Obviously, we can't figure out who's going where yet because not everyone's done their matches, so the math won't add up. But either way, my mentality is it doesn't matter how the math adds up. It doesn't matter what's possible. If there's a match in front of me, I'm going to play to the best of my ability and try to play to win, because you don't want to get 3-0 swept. You want to prove that, if this was a best of 5, maybe we would have won. If this is a best of 7, we would have won. You have to prove that maybe those first two map mode combinations weren't in your favor. There's a couple slip ups, things were 50-50. So Octos and Squids looking to get the win here if they want to kind of get that last little bit of confidence and prove that they deserve to be here. And on the other hand, CSUDH looking to take this in a 3-0 sweep. We've seen a lot of very quick game 3s today, so CSUDH really want to keep up that trend and make this Splat Zones Mako game a quick KO.
Place your bets now. Will this last game be shorter or longer than 2 minutes? Based on what we've seen so far, probably shorter.
You know what? I'm calling longer. I'm greedy. I want to commentate more Splatoon. Let's have this go to overtime.
I want to see this go to overtime. I want to see more Splatoon. We are going to see quite a few comp changes. Double Booyah Bomb from CSUDH. And we're going to see Custom Explo that has Splash Wall and Triple Splashdown. Not a pick I've seen much recently. It's sometimes annoying to deal with, but it takes a little bit of practice to start using that weapon. A little bit of a neutral game, not a lot of fights happening, but this left stack is going to go down. It does look like 2 are going to go down on the side of CSUDH, and the zone's just going to go to Octos and Squids. That's it. We're seeing a little bit of staggering from CSUDH. They need a really good retake. They need to slow down a little bit, maybe get a special, and try to all push at the same time. Unless you're a Squiffer, then maybe you can be Superman. It's possible.
I will say, though, that Ink Storm from, I believe, Ven on the side of Octos and Squids, getting basically 2 kills, pushing out players, a very impressive placement. People don't respect the Inkstorm as much as they should. And also, like, make correction, that was a VO, not Van. I just read the name wrong, sorry. But yeah, so Octos and Squids have a great opening here, holding the map control. CSUDH pushing back with these double booyahs, trying to keep the zone. Splashdown not getting as much paint as it wanted to. The zone could go either way here, but CSUDH actually go down 2 now. But still, the zone is neutral. Neither team able to outpaint the other, as they've both brought a couple of pretty heavy hitters that comes to splat zones. We have that Aerospray. We have that Explosher. So just a huge skirmish in the middle. Octos and Squids currently in the lead, holding zone, hoping they can keep it that way.
Yeah, it's still 2 down on CSUDH. They're having a very difficult time getting those picks, and staying alive. They really need to stay alive, or at least get a special to somehow paint the zone. You have double Booyah Bomb, try to throw them both at the zone, and it does look like that's what happens. And the zone is capped. That Swiffer getting that bubble in zone might have actually saved them the game. It forced out a lot of people out of the zone, and it took a lot of the zone to be free for them to paint. We really do need to see some picks happening. It's one down on both teams. Xplosher goes down in with the splashdown, getting a lot of paint on the zone. The zone is in contention once again. CSUDH really needs a good hold here, really needs some picks very quickly to get this lead. They're getting very close to the lead. I imagine Octos and Squids are getting a little bit antsy. They have 2 specials up. Any second, they're probably going to pop those. Yeah, they pop those specials, and looks like they're probably going to cap here. Just barely losing the lead by 1 point, which is quite the surprise.
Octos and Squids do lose the lead, but they're back in control. We did see them get antsy again. We saw that Xplosher walk in by themselves and splash down with no backup, and that pillow in the middle of the zone did block most of the paint. So with that, you have an Ink Storm. You're gonna need to use those in conjunction to get the zone, as we saw once they retook. So they have an opportunity here. They still have control of the zone. They have an Xplosher from the Fish able to keep painting. They need to get through this penalty. And now they have CSUDH on the ropes. They need to keep them out. They are behind them. They do get 2 picks. That's a very unfortunate position, though. They barely have a penalty left. Only 5 ticks left to have a lead. Here comes one of those Booyah Bombs. The zone is turning orange. Will it stay blue? And that should be a flip. It's just a rapid, and there it is. Chips unable to get a lot of value by themselves as the last member now. A minute left in this game. CSUDH in the lead, are in control, and they want to keep it that way.
I'll point out, Octos and Squids had no penalty left there. All they needed to do was hold on to the zone for 1 more second, and they would have pulled the lead back. But CSUDH is going to hold this for now. It does seem that they're opting to be a little bit further back. This Explo coming in, getting 2 kills. This zone is going in the favor of Octos and Squids now. This Doolies really needs to hold on for life. There's only 38 seconds left. This game was not a 2-minute game. This looks like it might be an overtime game. Another splashdown, getting another kill. People are scrapping right now, desperately trying to get control of the zone as the match is coming to an end. There's not a lot of time left. Dooley's getting another pick. That's 1 down on side of Octos and Squids. Another Booyah Bomb coming out. Jetpack coming out. Everyone's throwing everything at the zone right now as a last stand.
KJ is popping off on these Doolies right now, walking and getting consistent picks and working together with their teammates, with Danny, with Galaxy Lev, and just able to push out Octos and Squids. There is the timer. CSUDH able to hold on and take the set 3-0 over Octos and Squids United Gray. Very, very strong display. A bit of a rocky middle of the game, but their opening and their ending were strong, and that's what they needed.
That ended that game. That's what I want to see. Everyone making their last stand. You see the Doolies really pull it out, get a lot of kills in a row. Everyone throwing their specials at the zone. You can see the panic that everyone was going through. There's a 1-point difference in the score. There's 30 seconds left. Everyone was throwing everything they had, and I love to see that.
Yeah, and that's what happens in the last match of a set is like this. You have to put everything on the table. This is the last match. We've got to prove ourselves here. We've got to win. We've got to bring out the picks, and especially we saw here a lot of more interesting picks for weapons than we normally would have seen. Again, with that Aerospray from Jalen, not something you see in competitive a lot, but it does have its merits to it. It is a high paint weapon. They just recently buffed the special for it. It can be very annoying, and ultimately they did get the win. So that double Booyah did provide enough value to get the pick, to get the win, over Octos and Squids, but they didn't go down without a fight. They had a lot going for them. But again, KJ at the end with those Doolies getting multiple picks, keeping Octos and Squids staggered was the dagger that ultimately won them that game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Well, we are a little bit behind schedule, so this was the last match from us casting. I have been Astrodwarf, and with me has been Hammy. Thank you very much for watching. After this, we will be going to bracket. Now, Hammy, where can the good people who are watching this tournament at home find you?
For those of you who want to see more of me, you can find me mainly at Blue Sky at hitw.inc. It is this, yes, that direction. Go to mirror. Not mirrored. Okay. So you can find me there. Also, you can find me on most other platforms at Hammy in the Wall. Unfortunately, Hammy is pretty much taken everywhere. But yeah, you can find me all sorts of places. I do a variety of things. I play competitive, I commentate, I try to make things. And yeah, Astro, where can people find you?
Well, people can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/@astro_dwarf. I make a lot of YouTube, well, I make some YouTube videos, sometimes on game development, and more recently on some aspects of competitive Splatoon. I think I make a lot of interesting content. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. This has been some wonderful sets. Thank you, Hammy, for joining me. And we will be moving on to the bracket stage next with some more wonderful commentary.
Get ready for the next battle, ladies and gentlemen. Say them to everyone else in between. My name is SPF Garnet. We're coming at you live here at the CCA to bring our 5th and final circuit qualifier. Now, before I get too ahead of myself, I am joined by someone else here tonight.
Yes, hello everyone. Cygnus here, and as you said, Dirk, here we are, the last qualifier in Top Cut, looking at Division 2. It has been a very exciting time in this qualifier, and I am very excited to get started here in Top Cut Round 1.
Top Cut Round 1. We're in a best of 3 now. These teams have already struck out their map lists, and we're going to be kicking it off with Robo Ramen on Rainmaker. I love Robo Ramen so much. I said this time and time and again. I don't see Rainmaker up too much on here, but I still love Robo Ramen nonetheless.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. That yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite maps in the game. Just so refreshing having a map with an actual flank in it.
Yeah, the dreaded flank, the topic that everyone has been mentioning since pretty much the entirety of the game's debut. But nonetheless, we are watching Reef Fighters versus A&M-Y here in this first match, and I'm very eager to see exactly these weapons. I already am loving the range blaster pick. I am a blaster player through and through.
Yeah, seeing that CRB coming out from TAMU White. Right away, we're seeing both teams attack the shield. It'll be Reef Runners getting the first pop. With no one going down, this will be a dogfight. The teams will wait to take the Rainmaker until they feel they have a comfortable enough advantage here, as we see the background vision going. And first pick being taken by the Reef Runners, who are in blue there, with TAMU White being in the yellow.
It's just an utter bloodbath here mid, just constantly playing out this neutral as best they can to see exactly who's going to be to get the first momentum going for their side. And with 3 down for the Refunders, A&M are looking to see exactly if they can actually get something going off this. Rainmaker picked up, they're already rushing to that checkpoint. Potentially can get a knockout if they play the cards right, especially with that Butler, an additional pick right off the gate.
Yeah, it's definitely a big play, Dark, and you're seeing Refunders just trying to take some space back using that Booyah Bomb to cover the going for screen, but their roller does unfortunately go down as we have 3 up on each side. But Reef Runners do get the pop, and they have their tactic cooler active now. Now, if they're going to gain back ground, this is how they're going to do it. With both teams once again being down 1 apiece. People are going down left and right here, but the Rainmaker is going to reset now.
Rainmaker reset and 2 down for A&M. Refunders are looking to try and get that checkpoint back in their own favor. Bubbler used once again in this game as it used to properly protect the Rainmaker as they do get that first checkpoint knocked out. But with 2 down for A&M once again, Refunders is going to take the lead and push this Rainmaker a bit forward, but 2 down from the killer wheel stops them in their path.
Just a perfectly placed killer whale, gets the picks they need, contributes to the wipe out, and TAMU already just streaming the Rainmaker all the way along. They took the lead right back, getting it up to 50, getting it all the way down to 44. They're popping specials to maintain. Both teams are popping stuff now. They're playing right around that great area. We see Boxy dropping into the tunnel, but will get picked by the Splat Roller, who is holding on to Bubbler, but will not be able to use it as the Rainmaker resets the brush. Io will get the key pick and is still staying in the Refunders area, causing all sorts of chaos. But the Refunders have the Rainmaker back now. They're just moving so fast in this game, Dark.
It's a very fast and intense game indeed. If it being Division 2, these 2 teams are definitely have their own merits for being this far. And now Refunders with 3 down on A&M are looking to try and push that Rainmaker as far forward as they can to potentially contest that lead, but they're not quite there yet, 2 points away, and the pickup's gonna flip the lead on its head as A&M are struggling to fight back from Refunders. They're trying to hold on as long as they can, especially now with the killer whale being used to push Refunders back. A&M finally has this opportunity to try and pick up this Rainmaker at the very least or reset it.
Yeah, both teams are just popping their special so much, just making sure the other team has so much to deal with. Rainmaker is resetting once again, and Refunders have 2 down on the other side, but they go 2 down themselves. We're playing 2v2 Splatoon here now, as the Trizuka will come out from the side of TAMU White. That's Bob G on the order shot. The whale is popped. The Rainmaker shield is gone. Refunders get up the tactic cooler, but he goes down to the Snipe Raider, or he's playing right behind Rainmaker shield, just trying to get space, but TAMU does not have the numbers right now as Refunders have been able to regroup.
And then as players is mature and mid means Refunders can play however they like. They do have lead right now, and as we head into the final minute of this game, Refunders has the cards in their hand to play however fast or slow they wish. I saw A&M out or just keep their aggression going, and the aggression might not be the exact answer they want right now, but 3 does go down for A&M. Reef Runners are looking to just pop that Rainmaker, or not just pop the Rainmaker, just make sure that A&M just have no access to the Rainmaker, especially considering it's right behind that corner. It's gonna be a very tough pop for A&M.
Yeah, definitely. This is where TAMU White's gonna have to make one of the big plays as time is winding down. You see Plant getting on that carrier with the bubble. Unfortunately, not quite able to get enough value as Kajo does get the pick onto them. And Refunders apply pressure with that bomb and reset the bubble on that Rainmaker just enough to force him to have to pop again. But it is within reach of them. Flame will get Rainmaker able to force overtime. TAMU is down a man though, and being pressured by that Booyah bomb, with a Kraken still being at the ready for Refunders as well as the bubble. They have the special advantage with TAMU being 2 down. Just really trying to keep the Rainmaker. We're seeing IO here just playing along that wall, just keeping the close range attackers from Refunders away from the Rainmaker as best they can. They're being forced to retreat, and they lose the Rainmaker, and that is game 1 going to the Refunders.
Oh man, a close game from both sides. A&M tried to hold on at the very end right there, but unfortunately with 2 players going down right after that Rainmaker got picked up, it was a very hard fight for them as Refunders were able to just take their time and find the proper moment to go in and take out that Rainmaker to drop the overtime. What a beautiful game though, both these 2 teams. I'm excited to see exactly what's going to be happening next, but these replays, some of these plays, a beautiful bubbler from both sides to get that Rainmaker checkpoint down almost immediately. Beautiful.
Yeah, these teams were just throwing specials out and just getting picks just like one time. So many times I saw one team in like a 4v2 advantage, then all of a sudden it was a 2v2. The bodies were just flying everywhere. It was a very fast-paced, aggressive game of Splatoon. We saw it, but eventually it was the Refunders who were able to successfully maintain a hold on the lead and forcing their opposition into being in a situation where they had to just try to go for that big play and be patient with the Rainmaker, but time was just not on TAMU's side at that point.
Most definitely. Time really is much of an essence here, but as we head into game number 2, Barnacle Dime Tower Control, it is a very big game playmaking map. The area between the second and the final checkpoint is where you want to really look out for, because once you get past that second checkpoint, it becomes a very heavy snowball that's very hard to try and recover from. So you gotta make sure you have all your grounds covered there. You have to make sure you have everything you need in order to get ready for any kind of defense or offense like that. As these players are just waiting for their final player to ready up, I'm excited and eager to see exactly what changes might be happening, if any, with their weapon comms.
Yeah, definitely. Based on what we saw in game 1, I feel like we saw a decent amount of big bubbler being used on both sides. That is definitely a strong special for tower control. I also wouldn't be surprised to see Refunders bring back the Forge Splatter Shop Pro. A well-timed GG Booyah Bomb can just be so valuable in this mode, especially, like you said, Dark, once we're at the checkpoint 2 stage of the match.
Yeah, the bubbler good special here, especially with this Booyah Bomb or the Ink Strikes, the dreaded GG Ink Strikes. That's gonna be something that both teams have to be very mindful for. As we kick it off, I do see a few weapon changes from both sides. The thing I'm looking at eagerly, in fact, is the E-Leader from Reef Runners.
Yeah, definitely. The Kraken is staying, but it's not in blaster form anymore. I'm definitely interested to see the E-Leader team use, especially especially alongside double, triple ink strikes. I find that really interesting. And coming from the side of Reef Runners, and on TAMU White's side, I think the flat roller is key here. In fact, both sides having a flat roller. It's a bit of a roller duel here, but this Kraken just putting in work. TAMU is 3 down. Reef Runners are the first team to take the tower as they look pretty secure here at checkpoint 1.
Very clean, easy first checkpoint from Reef Runners, but with that checkpoint being so early on the path, it's really going to go down regardless of who you're going at. But now we're heading to that second checkpoint, potentially heading to that third checkpoint, where that area becomes very hard to recover, but Reef Runners are still running away with this game. The roller going on the backline to try to rest and get the pick it needs. As this tower, it just keeps going. The momentum is building up, but the ink strikes is used to try and clear up more space. 2 players are only here from both sides, and that checkpoint is gone. It is the snowball zone that I was talking about that can be very dangerous, but Texas A&M holds on just long enough to stall it out, but there's only 1 player left from both sides. Both of these teams are just desperately playing it out on this tower.
Oh my goodness! Wow, great effort by Io there, just getting the pick. But Squidkid is still able to maintain tower. They're on it, but oh no, the wipeout! There was just so much going on there, so much red jockeying for tower position. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at the end there, but Reef Runners secures the shutout knockout to win game 2 and win this set.
Oh man, that's have to sting for A&M right there at the very end. You do manage to stop the tower right at 1, but Reef Runners, the way they were playing this, the way they were just setting up these fights, it was just too much for A&M. They couldn't properly recover, constantly putting them at a staggering. It was just a beautiful play from Reef Runners to get this started. And I think this play right here by the roller is really what cracked A&M wide open.
Yeah, and really, it was the play was initiated by the roller. I consider that more of a full team play. All 4 players just with how well the specials were chained there. You had the bubble enabling the roller to get a pick. Both triple ink strikes giving cover for the tower to go up, and then the Kraken pushing ahead through. It's just so well chained by all the members of Reef Runners to together to take advantage of that opening play by the roller.
Yeah, Reef Runners were just so well coordinated that A&M just had no chance to properly recover from that. And man, oh man, what an explosive set that was. 2-0, a clean wipeout for Reef Runners against A&M. Both teams did extraordinarily well, but congratulations for Reef Runners for making it onto the bracket. But with a quick set like that, I think we're gonna have to go on a quick break so we can get our next set going on. So don't go anywhere just yet. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switching the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and everyone else in between. My name is SPF Dark, I'm with Cygnus, and we're here for round number 2 of our bracket series. FFCU Garnet versus UCF Knights Rising.
Yeah, let's be. This should be another really exciting set as we are in round 2 of bracket. Once again, this is a best of 3 with us playing Mahi Mahi Resort on Splat Zones, Mako Mart on Tower Control, and Umami Ruins on Clam Blitz. Right away, I'm definitely expecting, knowing these teams, I'm definitely expecting to see a Carbon Roller Deco on the side of FSU Garnet, and probably a good amount of Cooler plus Stamper coming from UCF Knights Rising. Should be expected here. A lot of fun stuff coming up. Starting off, we have the famous Mahi Mahi Resort on Splat Zones. What are your thoughts on this map mode for Game 1, Dark?
Well, Mahi Zone is. I've always had something to say about this map, and it's the fact that it's not a real map until that 60-point mark when the water drops. And on top of that, typically, anyways, whoever gets the first zone flip on their side typically can ride it out to that first 60 points, those first 40 points, because it's a very hard map to actually push up or push into when the water's up. And typically, if you get the zone, you have a good 2 or 3 players down from the enemy team, so they can just wait it out until the water level drops so they can have more room to play with. And already, UCF Knights looking to get that zone, looking to push FSU Garnet as far back as they can, but it's still 1-for-1 draw. Both back foot trades. UCF Knights still holding onto the zone for a little bit longer, but Garnet is looking to try and get those picks they need to try and push in as best they can.
Yeah, I would like to say, wow, okay, that was just really good work coming from Garnet for the flip zone. Wow, I was gonna say, I really like the Dreadbringer pick coming from Knights Rising, given it can instantly flip a zone, it can get in there, and with the Reef Slider, and the Dreadbringer just paints so much, but FSU Garnet is doing a great job of keeping it out, having taken it down twice while outside its special Olaf, getting multiple members of Knights down, they have the lead, and there's that water level dropping, just like you were talking about. Dark. The map is much more wide open now. Now we'll see if Garnet can hold on. What we're seeing is a strong zip caster coming from the Knights, taking a pick here, going all over the place, making them turn around, and the Knights are back in control.
A good zipcaster to scatter Garnet as it did, and now the damage has been done. Unfortunately, FSU Garnet at 33 points remaining, but UCF Knights are ready to fight back and hold on to this as long as they can. The Ink coming in to try and get the the zone cleared out, and with the remaining members of UCF Knights slowly getting picked up one by one, Garnet has control over mid once again. That Blaster being the last member picked off from UCF Knights, but now they're looking to get their own push going, slowly pushing them forward, getting the paint they need to get their specials online, and at the ready for the Carbon Roller is just an absolute menace under that ledge.
Yeah, comrade, on that Carbon Roller, that's what FSU Garnet is known for. That Carbon Roller is just so deadly, but here Nuggy is coming in, causing chaos with the Zipcaster again, trying to give his team an opening. That's 2 down from FSU Garnet. They're back in control of the zone as the specials just neutralize the effectiveness of those triple ink strikes. Very well played by Knights, as we're seeing Miku up on the ledge, slashing down, will get the pick onto the Blaster and get an opportunity to throw those strikes out, as Garnet is regrouping and is going to try to stop the timer of UCF Knights Rising before it can get too close. They're controlled though, and that Reef Slider will just make things all the more difficult for Garnet, but they do manage to flip it and apply that 35-point penalty onto UCF.
A good hefty penalty points applied to UCF Knights as they do get this zone cap once again. And on another pick on top of that, Garnet being one player being forced to jump out as UCF Knights are looking to try and just zone them out as best they can. 20 points pretty much almost gone at this point for how long it's been taking, especially with that additional pick right there. But now Garnet has tactical at the ready. They're using insurance to clear out the zone. And the splashdown comes in to try and create some chaos, but they do it enough to get picked off. It's specials being used left and right, and in the chaos, UCF Knights managed to take the lead as Garnet finally takes control of the zone.
That was just incredible. Comrade on that carbon roller there was able to outrun the radius of the splash down. And as they turn around, as they got being Zuka and pick up a pick and help pay the zone with control. That was just an incredible play by Comrade there as lead flipped a bit. Garnet with a 1-point lead. UCF does take back control though, as their 31-point penalty is ticking down. Both teams are 4 up, with Garnet regrouping back in their own end, and Nuggy in a great position at the offensive ledge there.
45 seconds remaining on the game. Lead has flipped once again, but 3 goes down for UCF Knights Rising as Garnet just cleans up Knights Rising. And now they're going to go on the offensive here, try and take lead back once more. Their penalty points almost good as gone, as there's a fight over here on the right side of the map. One does go down for UCF Knights as they're being forced to play the respect of Garnet, trying not to overextend, and overextend might be the cause of the damage here as another 2 players go down, meaning Garnet has the lead taken once again, and that timer is ticking. They gotta do something right here and now, but with 2 players down yet again, I don't think there's any chance that Garnet loses this here as we see the final points ticking down. SMSU Garnet takes his first game!
Wow, what an incredible way to start off this set, eventually taken by FSU Garnet in a knockout, but not without a great fight put up by UCF Knights Rising. We saw an epic battle there between Comrade's Carbon Roller Deco and Nuggy's Splatona Stamper. The specials from both those players put up great work, and Ribbon did an amazing job both taking space and getting key picks with on already chipped opponents on that pencil, as we were seeing right there in the replay. And pencil's more than just a cooler spam weapon, as you saw there. It was able to take space so effectively and capitalize on already weakened opponents. And here we're seeing UCF Knights Rising put up a great fight. This game still easily could have been flipped, as Nuggy got great value out of that zip caster, and of course the Reef slider to cheese zones, especially on this map, is just such a valuable thing to have, especially on the weapon that paints as much as the Dreadbringer. Both these teams just showed great fight, and I am just so excited to see what comes next here.
Both that game could have gone either way, and now we're heading to Mako Bar Tower Control. I'm excited and eager to see exactly what changes, if any, as we heading onto this map mode. There really isn't too many points of interest here on Mako Bar. Mako Bar is a very well-rounded map to begin with, so there really isn't too many things to worry about. You know, obviously, if you don't have the player advantage, it's gonna be hard to try and push back on the tower, but that's just more conjecture at this point. Honestly, the really main thing I'm concerned about, or how we've seen this last game go, is how that carbon roller can abuse all the ledges here. A lot of these ledges are just perfect play zones for the carbon roller to do some massive damage. So I'm a bit worried for UCF Knights and how they're gonna be able to play around that carbon roller.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Dark. And I'd also like to point out tower control is statistically and historically FSU Garnet's best mode win percentage wise, and for UCF Knights, and the one with the lowest win percentage for UCF Knights Rising. So Garnet probably is definitely happy that this map mode was not one that was struck, but it is UCF reaching the first checkpoint first and advancing the tower up here, as we see Koki with the reslider just barely not managing to get the pick though, and Comrade will punish him for that.
That's a delayed wipeout. UCF Knights forced to be drop back to the spawner. Even though they did get that first checkpoint, Garnet is looking already get ready to take that checkpoint on their side. One player does go down from the strikes or from the bomb. I couldn't tell from that midst of that chaos, but there's back to back ink strikes from Garnet, meaning UCF Knights has no other option but to give up the space that they want in order to push past this checkpoint. And they did get that checkpoint, and then some few extra points on top of that. And now they're 2 players down. Once again, UCF Knights are struggling to keep up with FSU Garnet.
And Ribbon, once again, getting the picks with that Snipe Rider while also supporting team with the cooler, just getting immense value there. They are under attack from Nungi Zitcaster on the side there. Knights are able to regroup and are escorting tower and are escorting tower back to mid. They have 3 specials. They also have 3 specials at the ready to help them. Unfortunately, Nuggy will eventually go down now, but both sides are 2 down. Now we're playing 2v2 Splatoon here with a reslider and a splashdown both ready for UCF Knights Rising right now as they're escorting tower up and getting closer to where they were earlier. Great positioning from the blaster there too, if I may add.
Oh, I do love myself some Blaster Gaming. He's actually putting in the work here, just trying to make sure that everyone's properly spaced out. But they do, unfortunately, go down to the bucket, who picks up 2 on the right craze. That tower has no other choice but to be forced to stop, as this bucket on the back line is putting an absolute work and finally going down as 3 players from UFC Knights are forced to convert on that, meaning this tower is going to be reset back to neutral as FSU Garnet are looking to try and press the advantage as best they can. But no, 2 does go down, 3 goes down. That's a delayed wipeout from FSU Garnet, meaning UFC Knights has the opportunity to once again push that tower down to the second checkpoint, potentially even looking for a lead switch here.
You're dividing with the cooler, which can double as a shield. And the splash down coming up and stopping Garnet from potentially taking momentum back. But Nuggy will go down in a trade. Like Garnet will take that in a heartbeat. UCF is still trying to do it. It's just 5 points. This is just such a narrow cushion Garnet has. But the combination of the slasher and the carbon roller is just so impressive with the ledges here on Mega Mart. As we see, Arclight will go down, denying UCF Knights opportunity to get their cooler for the time being, which could be important as the tower is moving here back to mid, and another fight is developing. That's 2 down on both sides now. Now, Knights Rising do have a couple specials at the ready, but Comrade getting a peek, not quite able to take the tower with 2 members of the Knights guarding it ferociously.
That fight might be huge here, as UFC Knights are the only 5 points away from taking lead over FSU Garnet. And now we're at the final minute of this game. 2 players down from Garnet, as UFC Knights keeps this tower pushed up, and they've all 1-for-1 brawl between the Stamper and the Carbon Roller on those right crates. But it looks to be nothing more than a distraction as these players go down on the tower, forcing UFC Knights to back with their respectful space. But no, 3 down for FSU Garnet. And a wipeout! This could be the history change that they need in order to take this game off of FSU Garnet. Like you mentioned beforehand, they are historically strong in this game, but it seems to be falling apart here at the end as they pass that second checkpoint.
Wow. Nuggy leading the charge there and got to that crucial 20 put mark, and now Garnet is going to have to finish taking second checkpoint and then some if they want to win this game. And we're in the final 10 seconds. Garnet's going to have to do it all within overtime without losing possession of the tower. Nana will go down as they try to start those strikes. The Reef Sliders coming in, attacking the tower. Ribbon fighting for their life, standing on the tower. They try to support them, but the big blast will end it. That is a wipeout to end the game. And UCF Knights Rising send this to a decisive game 3.
That right there at the end is the epitome of blaster gaming. Using that weapon to your utmost advantage and just playing the distance and just letting the splash damage do the work, do the job, and taking that wipeout on the tower at the very end is exactly what they need to do to win this game. FSU Garnet put a strong opening and keeping UCF Knights on the back foot for the majority of this game, but they held strong. And in the last minute pressure of it, they came back and they sent FSU packing this game.
Yeah, great job by UCF Knights staying cool under pressure. They were down a game. It was match point in favor of Garnet. As I discussed, Garnet had the win rate advantage and a great comp on tower control. But Nuggy led the charge on the front lines. It was able to do just enough damage that their teammates were able to take advantage, finish the wipeout, and push the tower up enough that they were able to get the lead and force Garnet into an overtime situation where, as you were talking about, Dark, with that blaster at the end. If you were wondering why blasters are so common on tower control moments, the capability of doing something like that is exactly why. One shot, and you could end it right there.
Blasters are such a threat on tower control if you set up properly. And you see exactly why it's such a menace here. But now, game number 3, Umami Ruins on Clam Blitz. This is the decisive game that you mentioned that will decide whether who's moving on in the bracket. And both these two teams are immediately readying up, not wasting any additional time for thinking, any second guessing, any additional thoughts. They just want to get this game and play it out and finish it out here and now. Game number 3, FSU Garnet versus UCF Knights Rising.
You are seeing no country from either side. They're sticking with what they like and what works, as we're seeing teams immediately fighting for control of the middle ground here. Nuggy playing patiently around that pillar, waiting to find his opponent. But 3 players go down, a 2-for-1 in favor of Garnet as they grab, as they secure an early tacticaler here. Both teams are arguing with one, but the Trizuka does get a key pick onto the blaster here, and Garnet is slowly but surely advancing further and further up this map into the enemy side.
Good round of special usage led to FSU Garnet getting ready for their own push, but the Carbon Roller did feel a bit over eager there to try it and push up and get ready to get some camps scored, meaning that FSU Garnet was forced to back up a little bit and play slow, but with a wipeout in return, FSU Garnet is able to score not just 1, but 2 power clamps with additional smaller clamps right back to back with no contest whatsoever. And now it is their job right here to just stall out UCF Knights as long as they can, get the picks they need so they can get even more clams. The T-Tech is stuck in mid, not able to get any more clams pushed in, meaning that barrier will be brought back up, and now UCF Knights is looking to get their revenge.
Yeah, that's absolutely massive, pushing it all the way down to 36. I always say, in Clam Blitz, what you really want to do on your first push is get your score below the 60 point threshold. Make it so the opposing team can't take lead, even if they get a 2 pair clam push, and Garnet did that and more on a really good first push, and excellent defense there, as we're seeing, as they secure that wipeout. Ribbon carrying the power clam as Comrade is already up at the enemy dome. The strikes are falling, the barrier is open in again. Garnet smells blood. They want the knockout here. Comrade still firing that Trizuka. Garnet and the Knights go 3 down again as Garnet manages to get just a few more clams in. Barrier still open for a little while longer, but looks like that's going to be it for this push. Oh, or maybe not. Wow.
Ooh, they just need 1 clam, and just like that, FSU Garnet just runs away with this game with no contest whatsoever. UCF Knights being forced to sit and watch that 3rd game being an absolute dominant hold over FSU Garnet, winning his set all by.
See, I spoke too soon there on that push being over.
Oh,
wow,
man.
just an incredible set by both teams. And I'd also like to point out, both of these teams beat each other at what the other does best. Historically, Tower Control has been Garnet's best mode and Knights Rising's worst mode. Knights Rising won that game. Clan Blitz, Knights Rising has a 76.9% win percentage on it, as opposed to Garnet's 31.4%. But Garnet came up with a clean sweep in Clan Blitz there. They both beat each other at what the other does best.
It is a very... Stuff like this you really can't get anywhere else, man. And that's why I really love the CCA. And man, oh man, what I said that was. It was looking pretty like a coin flip there after that second game, but after this, you're gonna just really lock in and set UCF Knights Rising home. And man, that's gotta sting for them. But it's sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. But I think our next match is ready, so we'll be right back after this just momentary break as we get that set up for you. So don't worry, just get your food, get your water, take your bathroom break. We'll be right back after this. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and everyone else in between. My name is SPF Dark. I'm here with Cygnus, and we're back with our third round of the CCA bracket qualifier number 5.
Yeah, very exciting semifinals match here. They're coming between That's Dangerous from University of Texas at Dallas and the Golden Barracudas from Kutztown University. Alrighty, I'm very excited here for these semifinals, and looking at this map list, once again, we're on a best of 3, and we're starting off with not one, but we're starting off here with Inkblot Art Academy on tower control, followed by Clamblitz, Barnacle, and Dime, and finally, if we go to game 3, it'll be Humpback, Pump Track on Rainmaker. So starting with Game 1 Inkblot Art Academy, what are your thoughts on this map mode, Dark?
Inkblot Tower Control is one of the tried and true classics here for Splatoon Competitive. You always see this map mode come up at least once or twice in your run. You can never escape it because it's a very just all-around, well-rounded map. You have a lot of things going on for you on your map to support a lot of different playstyles, and it's just a very true to test of skill between two teams, and to see it kicked off here, it's really probably gonna set the tempo for how the remainder of this set's gonna go, considering it is, many people have claimed it to be anyways, a relatively neutral map. So whoever is on average the better team, or whoever can get the better fights and win them, will most likely succeed here.
Yeah, definitely. And we're heading right in to the action here. I'm seeing a Splatoon Wiper Deco coming on the side of That's Dangerous. Those beacons are likely to be a hassle for Golden Barracuda here, who I'm seeing going with a vanilla range blaster instead of the custom set, which is something I find interesting here as well.
I'm very eager to see how that blaster is going to use it. I, as a blaster main, all 100% prefer the custom range blaster, but in the midst of all that chaos, there was just an absolute huge fight on the tower, 3 down from each side. No one can get control over mid right now, as Tactical, even though Tactical is online for That's Dangerous, they're struggling to even get anything going, but they do get 2 down over Golden Barracuda. This could be the start of their push that they need.
Yeah, Sam getting a nice pick right around the corner here, getting up onto the enemy plat, followed by a couple teammates applying a lot of early pressure on the Barracudas as they attempt to go for checkpoint 1, but maybe they progressed a bit too far off as they got picked down pretty quickly there, and now Barracudas have a lot of room to be able to take space back, powers back in neutral, and they're able to start their push. Both sides are 2 down already, but we're seeing the tri-strikes coming from Golden Barracudas, who are also hanging on to a Booyah Bomb, which can definitely help, as we're seeing it coming out right here from C-, applying pressure onto the Wiper, and that's a lead flip already. They passed that first checkpoint.
First checkpoint being taken by Golden Barracudas. Now they're looking to back up as best they can, make sure they don't lose any members as this house is going for a proper reset. 1 does go down, 2 down for Golden Barracudas. Can they find that third? They find that third! That's Dangerous just cracked Golden Barracudas wide open as they're getting ready for this retreating defense. And with the Tactical online, they're going to be looking to go out and hunt anyone who's coming in from those recent respawns, getting yet another pick off of Golden Barracudas as they're invading the bats. That first checkpoint, not even taking it, a little bit over eager from That's Dangerous.
Yeah, That's Dangerous seems very happy early on, just rushing super aggressively and trying to apply as much pressure as close to the enemy base as they can. The strategy that as you're seeing, definitely has its pros, but could also have its cons. The Barracudas are taking back some control, but That's Dangerous able to get right back to that second checkpoint. They're passing the 40 point mark, and that's 2 down on the side of the Barracudas. April on the waivers right away. A nice jump out by Dreamer there though, as the splash gun's coming down. Things are happening. They're past checkpoint point 3. This map can get very swingy at leader checkpoints like that. 2, 1. That is a knockout for That's Dangerous.
a snowball at that point is not what you want to see. It becomes, like you mentioned, Cygnus, it becomes a very much of a snowball right there once you get past that second checkpoint heading to the third and final checkpoint. It's such a huge thing that you need to be very mindful for. But that Dangerous just played it really well right there at the end, just being able to like go on a constant aggression to keep Golden Barracudas like properly distracted. So many fights happening on so many parts of their platform and their side of the map. It was just like utterly beautifully orchestrated chaos from that Dangerous that managed to get them this win here against Golden Barracudas.
Yeah, definitely. And we were talking earlier about how maybe on this Dangerous could have been getting a bit too aggressive there. But on the other end, if you're constantly running right up to the opponent's base and picking fights with them, that's a lot. That's a lot being thrown at the enemy team that they constantly have to deal with, and that can be overwhelming. And and I think you said it perfectly, Dark, with a perfect amount of chaos. Just allowing on this Dangerous to eventually take the knockout victory in this first game. I'm definitely interested to see how Golden Barracudas adjust here as we go to Barnacle and Dime Clamblitz now.
Barnacle, Dime, Clamblitz. This could be a bit of an awkward map for some, a bit of an open map, or not open, but free map for others. It really depends on how you want to play it. With how aggressive that Dangerous has been so far, this could be a very good map for them. With the just being able to constantly push up and keep Golden Barracudas properly like seated on the back seat and taking so much space so quickly, especially with the tactical that they have at the ready. This could be a very much a snowball thing for that's Dangerous. But on the contrary, if Golden Barracudas can properly set themselves up and nap like a very good wall defense, that Dangerous is gonna have a hard time pushing through some of the choke points.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do think things got at least a little bit easier on this map after the rework they did a few months ago, especially adding a route in the middle where you can kind of set up a flank. I think is a really nice addition, helping this map be really competitively viable.
Yeah, that wings on both sides does aid a bit, and like pushing back through I say multiple choke points earlier, but really there really is just one checkpoint from that plat heading down to the lower ramp. That really is the main choke point people like struggle to push past through, but those wings do help a lot being able to like go around and just harass people from the back line. I doubt we'll see it used much though, because a lot of players, including myself, tend to forget that those wings even exist because they're so out of the way. But you know, both with how that Dangerous has been so aggressive, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually use that to their advantage, knowing that no one really checks over there at all. They can honestly use that to their advantage to just get a very good like surprise attack from an off angle in order to just open Golden Barracudas up.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see. It wouldn't surprise me to see on this thing just coming back with the same weapon comp. I'm interested to see what changes we could see from Golden Barracudas. Maybe instead of the Range Blaster, we could see something like a Splat Dualies, allowing greater maneuverability and survivability in pitch fights, and the ability to have a crab tag for area control can be really good on Clamblitz as well.
Yeah, I really like crab tank here as well. There are a good amount of angles where you can hold with the crab tank that really could just dominate a lot of sight lines. And already we're seeing exactly what these two teams will be bringing to the table. No crab tank, unfortunately, not mentioned here, as we do see a relatively similar weapon comp, only one major weapon change, the Range Blaster not being used here already, as both these teams have an explosive mid opening.
Yeah, both teams already going one player down a piece here, as we're seeing teams are just fighting middle over clans with Golden Barracudas. being the ones to establish early clam economy, but 10 missiles from the Viper Deco is gonna force him to split up a bit, especially. There was Rhubarb able to come in with a splashdown, and Perry's flat dualies are such a good weapon for the style on this dangerous plays. I love seeing it here, but the Golden Barracudas are able to reestablish control and push up a bit. Parashon getting good use out of that strike, and McDonald Lover are just attacking with the range on that Sultana Stamper. Specials are coming out on this dangerous, going 2 down again, and Golden Barracudas strike first this time.
Very good opening push for Golden Barracudas, getting the first few points on the board right now, but with 3 down, potentially a delayed wipeout, depending on how this fight goes out. No, they do get canceled before that Zipcast can be used, so that is a delayed wipe as Unless Dangerous is looking to retake mid and seeing exactly who's going to be coming up first for Golden Barracudas to recontest this mid. Fight in 2 down from out of nowhere. Unless Dangerous being forced to give up space once again as Golden Barracudas already have a power clamp at the ready.
Yeah, Parasong is being so oppressive with that slasher here, although we did see Rhubarb of that dangerous getting back. A key pick, I would look like the very maximum range of those dualies. He's lagging behind, actually not able to get the splashdown off in time, getting taken by the slasher, as the Golden Barracudas do have 2 specials also at the ready, with both sides also wielding a power clam, but again, they're trading specials here. The Zipcaster versus Charger, and the Zipcaster wins, getting a double. That was just insane.
A huge Zipcaster not only gets a double, I'm pretty sure that was a triple right there
Maybe.
in mid, opening up Unless Dangerous, giving so much room for Golden Barracudas. 20 clams on the bank right now, ready to get cashed in at any moment. Once they get that opening, they need to probably push past the shot with 2 down once again for Unless Dangerous. Inktrack's going to be used to try and clear out more space to create that path they need. That power time gets thrown, and while the player
Barely
down,
makes it in. Wow.
The basket is cracked wide open. I don't think any clams can be scored off it as they were completely delayedly wiped out.
Yeah, wow, I'm amazed that throw made it in. That definitely caught me off guard. Although Silly did a great job under all that pressure of managing to lead a strong defense for Unless Dangerous, using the heavy edit splatling, as now we're seeing that defense is turning into offense as Unless Dangerous is pushing pretty far up. But one thing they are lacking is clams. They don't have that much, and will go 2 down as McDonald Lover gets a lot of value once again out of the Zipcaster here, forcing the surviving members of Unless Dangerous to pass that power clam all the way back.
Really putting in the work here from Golden Barracudas, keeping them alive in a lot of these fights that Golden Barracudas probably would have lost without them. And now, as we head to the final minute of this game, specials are being used left and right as Unless Dangerous wants to force an opening here, especially with the Path Cooler online. They're looking to try and get the pick they can, but they can't seem to find one. Oh, barely finding that Stamper, as it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade in the end of it. And now they're just slowly waiting out, any specials usage as they can. 10 missiles come out, big trades came out from one side. It's just an utter bloodbath here in mid, as both these teams are just playing in a back and forth trade with specials and players and teams, and it's just like constant mess right here in mid. But things have to be happening right now for Unless Dangerous. We're here in the final 30 seconds of this game. They need an opening now.
But these teams, every time one team seems to be getting an advantage, the other team is coming in with a key, taking 2 for 1, getting key picked and resetting it to neutral, which really is just beneficial to Golden Barracuda at this point, especially as Unless Dangerous pretty much needs a 2 power clam push in order to win this, as we're heading into overtime. The Trizuka coming out. 3v3. The strikes are coming out from Barracudas though, and they still have that deadly Zipcaster at the ready, which will come out into the corner, and it'll take 2 down with them. Silly's now the only one up for Unless Dangerous. Trying desperately to survive with that clam will eventually go down. That's both power clams pretty much out of reach, especially with that jump being able to be camped, and the Golden Barracudas will hang on with an impressive defense to force a game 3 here.
Let's go Alterna Stamper has to be the MVP here, constantly shutting down That's Dangerous as they get their gears in properly shifted forward. But it's just it's a lot of a stalemate that really gets cracked open by one good special or one good player from one team. And even though That's Dangerous had the makings of a good push going there at the end, once again, this Alterna Stamper just comes in and shuts them down.
Yeah, I'm still just not over that double or triple or whatever that was with the Zipcaster we saw earlier. That just blew my mind, Stark.
Yeah, no, the Zipcaster really is especially nowadays, I feel like it's a special that's been heavily underestimated, especially considering its early days where it really didn't feel like it was doing anything with when you zip to someone. But man, oh man, you gotta give credit to people who stuck out that weapon. And now, as both these two teams are sitting 1 point each, we're heading into Game 3, Humpback Pumpjack on Rainmaker. This is the decisive game on who's actually gonna make it to finals and who's gonna get sent home.
Yeah, and what a map mode combo for it to be on. I think we can expect a lot of the play to be around the elbows on the side of the map, as the teams are going to try to be able to make that final push through and over to the enemy side. That's the choke point you see a lot on this map mode, and how those battles are fought at those elbows is going to be the key here, as we're seeing pretty much the same count coming from That's Dangerous, and Golden Barracudas switching up. There's a Carbon Roller Deco in now.
Yeah, that's a very big pickup there. Rollers are definitely the three weapon types that I like to call here. That would be very good for this map mode is rollers, buckets, and blasters. And we see here, maybe the roller was the right pick, as That's Dangerous are down 3 already. First checkpoint going to Barracudas within the first 20 seconds of this game, and they're getting that second pop, and the Rainmaker picked up once again, potentially to get more points. But That's Dangerous is holding strong, playing the aggressive here to try and flush Golden Barracudas out, forcing their hand and making them back up.
Yeah, I definitely want to highlight how Golden Barracudas handled the opening there. I saw 3 players all going down one side and focusing on one member on the stage, just taking a 3v1 and then moving on to the other members. And seemingly before on the stage even do it, they were 3 down. Barracudas had the Rainmaker and were able to go off. That was just such an excellent opening by the Barracudas. You could tell this is a map mode combo that they practiced.
Being comfortable in that mode definitely gives teams a certain edge over the other, depending on how it is played out. And now That's Dangerous has that first checkpoint popped on their side, finally are looking to try and clear the space they need with it. It's slashed down, and they do get 1, they do get 2.
Nice.
That is something they needed, but there's a Carbon Roller in the back line. The opening that they should have had to take that Rainmaker down is slightly delayed, as now they're being forced any members respawning from Golden Barracudas that just shut down that Rainmaker. Yeah, the Carbon Roller just had to rotate so far, and that let That's Dangerous take so much space back from them. They were able to know it's coming, where it's coming from, and just circle around it. And when that's the only one the opposing team is up, it just allows you to make so much progress in what seems like a split second. This is key here. Golden Barracudas looking to try and snuff That's Dangerous out as best they can. The splashdown comes in and snuffs out Golden Barracudas, instead followed by a wipe out. That's Dangerous has the cards here right now to play up as far as they can to make sure Golden Barracudas has no breathing room to try and recontest the Rainmaker at all, as they're trying to slowly push it out as far away from their spawn as they can.
Yeah, Rhubarb has got to be the MVP here so far. I mean, that is 2 really key to triple splashdowns done at pretty much the perfect moment. The perfect moment. That's Dangerous is not tunnel vision on the Rainmaker. they're paying attention to what's happening around it, and that's been playing out to their advantage so far, and that's why we're seeing them in the lead right now as we pass the 2-minute mark in this game.
2 minutes past, there's only about 22 points separating between these two teams. As this Carburetor gets a beautiful opening, 2 players down for That's Dangerous, means that Golden Barracudas has the tools they have right now to try and get this going. But no, from the back line, Ruben gets one with the splash out, potentially gets a double, no, gets traded out. Unfortunately, it could have been a very devastating play against Golden Barracudas, but That's Dangerous unfortunately did not have the tools, the key they needed there in order to shut Golden Barracudas completely down. And now they're getting ready to get their own push going, just slowly inching apart as best they can. 10 points differentiating between these two teams, and unfortunately for That's Dangerous, they managed to save the Rainmaker in the nick of time.
Yeah, once again, we're seeing these numbers advantages proving to be so important here. Oh my goodness! That's Dangerous is just gone from the map right now. Golden Barracudas just pressing up their elbows, need to take space. We're seeing everything shifting to the right. Right, once again, this is going to be the battlefield. Things are decided on right here. McDonald Lover is pressuring Ledge. The shot is going to have to drop to force him away. But that also means that's one less defender. Booyah Von Kuko, this comes. He's able to stop them. Rhubarb once again with the timely splash down, keeping That's Dangerous ahead as we have under 30 seconds left now.
20 seconds remaining. This is Golden Barracuda's games to lose, as That's Dangerous has control of the Rainmaker. They're looking to try and get as far away from their side of the map as they can, but I don't think that's the right play here, as there's only 3 players remaining, 3 players down from That's Dangerous. Golden Barracudas can just always take the left route, not a route that many people take, but it is still a route nonetheless, and it is a bit faster, and this could be the key they need here to get past this lead, and they take the lead right as the timer went down to 0. Golden Barracudas steals this game away from That's Dangerous. That's such an unfortunate thing to happen!
Incredible! The very seldom used left route ends up being what wins it for Golden Barracudas, as they were ready for the fight to be there. I'm not sure if That's Dangerous was quite aware of some route change or what was happening there. That was just an insane comeback. That was the perfect cap to an absolutely amazing classic match of 2-3 in this game 3 that will send the Golden Barracudas to the Division 2 finals here in qualifier number 5. Dark, let me tell you, I am shaking after that match.
Yeah, you're not alone. And an attempt to try and make sure this Rainmaker isn't as close to the final pedestal as it was, trying to push it out at the mid at the very least. That's Dangerous had accidentally just handed the victory to Golden Barracudas, dropping that Rainmaker on the left side, where the route is one more dangerous but more fast if you have the proper player advantage. And with 3 going down at the very end there, that was not the situation That Dangerous accounted for. And just giving this victory to Golden Barracudas, that's an upset, a true de facto force upset.
Yeah, that was just amazing, and just as we were saying earlier, that left route is so rarely used. I'm guessing it probably didn't really register on the radar of the Dangerous, which is why they dropped it. Just try to keep it as far away approach route as possible. But with the specials Golden Barracudas had at the ready, they were able to just seamlessly get it through there and narrowly take the lead at the last seconds there in overtime to advance the finals. Just an incredibly well played set by both teams, and in the end, as can often happen in Splatoon, just the smallest little thing, one thing slipping someone's mind, and if you notice the opposing team making even just one mistake, that can be all it takes.
Oh, man, it's such a just upset, man. one mistake was all it really amounted to. Golden Barracudas moving on in the bracket, setting that's dangerous home here in the semifinals. That's gotta sting. But man, oh man, do we have a set coming up for you? Division 2 Grand Finals. We'll be going on a quick break as we get everything set up, so don't go anywhere just yet. Get the bathroom break, get your water break, get the snack, do whatever it is you need. We'll be right back after this break.
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Shape the mind, speeding up the pace, turning up the heat, where I need to be for the first time. I'm taking risks, I'm casting off without a lifeline. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, natives, and those in between. I'm SPF Dark, I'm with Cygnus, and we're coming at you live here at the CCA with our grand finals for our Circuit 5. Now, here we have Golden Barracudas, who we just saw, versus Octos and Squids United Scarlet.
Yeah, and coming off of that semifinals match, I am so excited to see what we have in store here in Grants. Octos and Squids United Scarlet, coming from the Ohio State University, and they're quite a good team, having done very well in Div 2 in the past in these qualifiers, and even competing in Div 1 back in Qualifier 4. And since this is finals, we are now up to a best of 5 five in this match. First to three wins. And starting off here, we have Mako Mart on Clam Blitz, followed by Flat Zone Zumami Ruins, Rainmaker Undertow Spillway, Scorch Gorge Clam Blitz. And if we go the distance, it'll all be settled where this stream started, on Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi Resort.
Oh, I've said it time and time again. I'm the man of the people, and I would like to see a Mahi Mahi Resort Zones game to finish it off. But we'll see if we can even get to that point. You mentioned it before, we're in a best of 5, meaning these players have an extra game they have to win if they want to take this set home. And I'm excited to see what exactly is going to be done first. We've seen Golden Barracudas clutch it out in the end here, and now Offensive Squids, I'm eager to see exactly what they're going to be bringing to the table here against Golden Barracudas in this first match.
Yeah, looking right away, I'm seeing. I really like the pick of the Zinc Mini Splatling coming from Oxygen Squids United Scarlet here. That really interests me, especially playing in zone with that bubble. It just allows for really good area denial.
The bubble is definitely going to be the key here to set up right under these power plant baskets if they can get set up there. Zimmy already has the bubble at the ready, but Oxygen Squid are being forced back one by one. Golden Barracudas just taking control of this game already. First minute, nothing major has happened other than just a few eventful team fights that really didn't amount to too much on both sides. Both have a good offense and good defense going on, and it's just the Clam Blitz special, but it's having nothing burger with the first minute at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. And now that is 3 down on Oxygen Squids, as it is just Okamu remaining, having to jump out with that power clam. Definitely don't want to go down. Definitely don't want to go down. So that gives Golden Barracudas the opening to score, but they don't get to score them up before they get wiped out. Impressive regrouping defense by Oxygen Squids, and they are already making progress at the other side of the map. That's the Briabot coming in. Unfortunately, not able to take down Parasong, and Oxygen Squids now find themselves down 3 here. Although Zoe clearing pace with the splashdown, that power claim unfortunately won't last, as the Donald Lover is able to force him away, hiding around on the stack with that carbon roller deco. We saw them use so effectively in the semifinals.
Definitely might be the key here for Golden Barracudas, but Oxygen Squid proving to be too much for them as they're just holding on to this line, just not giving them any room to breathe whatsoever. 3 down for Golden Barracudas means Oxygen Squid can just mosey on up, get the power clamp deposited, and maybe get a few additional points, taking the lead over Golden Barracudas. Since the backline being harassed by the blasters, but 3 down for Oxygen Squid. Golden Barracudas are looking to try and shut this down as fast as they can with a wipeout to close it all off.
Oh, just barely with that last desperation throw of a clam right before getting splatted. Got Oxygen Squids United just below that crucial 60-point mark. But wow, some nice work in an ultimate 2-for-1 by McDonald over there. But Zoe is wreaking a lot of havoc for Oxygen Squid, as we're seeing Barracudas now with the crap take out. There's that crap I was asking about in the semis. It's showing up now.
It could be a very dangerous country here, but unfortunately they get zoned out. Golden Barracuda is trying to go in and get a few extra points at the very least, but it's not going to amount to too much as the remaining members of their team are not there to back it up. And now Golden Barracuda are trying to get ready to defend from Oxygen Squids. This Blaster Gaming, just harassing whoever's in their sights, just using these legends to their utmost advantage. The Carbon Roller just shuts them down, meaning now 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining. Both these teams are at a stalemate.
Well, although right as you say that another power clamp to eliminate the penalties does manage to get snuck in, but the Oxygen Squids won't be able to score any more than that though. really good job by the dualies forcing them back and taking that trade. I'd say that's a trade in Golden Barracuda's favor, but the Active Squids aren't giving up yet. Coming in, neither side having that much in the way of clams right now. Although, of course, as I say, that Golden Barracudas quickly build up a power clam, and are getting ready to approach. They're approaching down the right, but the probably got a little bit too hasty with that power clam. I'd say, as they're not quite able to get it in and get wiped out for good measure, allowing Actors and Squids the ability to take that control of mid.
For Golden Barracudas, 15 seconds remaining, and it's such a huge clam economy over for Actors and Squids. So with 3 down, this could be the chance that they need to try and take this game away, even though the power clam basket is open. Golden Barracudas have to make a power clam right now if they want to go to overtime, but they had the clams at the ready, but they weren't informed enough. They were just a frame too slow. Golden Barracudas loses the overtime opportunity as his first game was the Actors and Squids. That's gotta sting!
Oh, that hurts so much to see. Just a fraction. If that claim was collected a fraction of a second sooner, this game could still be going on right now. Man. Guns to brick sometimes.
They were just a smidge too slow to get that power clam at the last moment. And I think they didn't realize they were banking on the power clam basket to close before time got called. But I think there was just a bit enough of a delay that they realized that it wasn't going to close in time. So they had to quickly pivot to make a power clam, but it just wasn't quite fast enough. Man, I've never seen anything like that.
I've seen it happen with those to the barrier coming just barely not in time, where it makes contact but isn't fully able to break in time. I haven't seen the power clam being in the middle of forming but not happening in time though. That just hurts my soul.
Now they're gonna be heading Umami Ruins on Splat Zone. Golden Barracudas has to take their time to go for a little bit of a reset to make sure they don't get that first loss get into their head for too much. I am a vocal advocate for Umami Ruin zones. I love the dual zones format, and I think it's a very interesting thing to add to any sort of tournament you're running. And so seeing it here, play here for grand finals, you gotta love to see it.
Yeah, especially after the rework. Umami Zones is probably one of my favorite map mode combos in the game, to be honest. Honestly, it's just how they rework the zones to not be so small like they used to be, to be the dynamic it has with the top mid and the backline purchase. With the backline purchase on the dome, I feel it just creates a really good, cool dynamic for a two-zone map here. Here, and I'm very interested to see how Golden Barracudas adjust after this game 1 as well.
Yeah, I agree with all that. The dynamic here on this level specifically is such a fun thing to play, and especially a fun thing to watch. And seeing how that first game goes, I'm eager to see exactly what Golden Barracudas might be adjusting here to adjust for that such a fun dynamic here. As we see, not too many changes from both sides.
Yeah, both sides keeping with what they like. They appear to have their comfort picks for right now. That they're gonna work now, and immediately we're just seeing a dogfight fight over 2 zones. And McDonald Lover just cutting across the top here. That's 2 down on Actors and Squid, but Golden Barracuda is also going 2 down. Okamu putting in nice work with that Snipe Fighter as well.
Work from Golden Barracudas, but it just wasn't quite enough at the end of the day. Actors and Squids are able to hold those zones through those 2 zones and are looking to try to keep Golden Barracudas pushed back as hard as they can. Though the combination of their ink strikes and the Booyah Bomb might be enough to cause some enough chaos that they can get the zone back in control to their side. But Golden Barracudas is slowly flying one by this forge to go down.
Wow. Well, very impressive. Back to the Squids, but we're seeing them pushing up to the Barracudas plat pretty aggressively now. Playing the Barracudas at their own game, if you will, pretty much. They're doing pretty well. Well, they see McDonald attempting for the ink barrel and say, "Oh no, you don't, buddy. You are not making it to that." To take him down. Their zone counter goes below 30. Golden Barracudas are going to use the Booyah Bomb, trying to stop the bleeding here, but they need to get their main members of Octo Scarlet out of there, as they are still able to get a jump. And this zone counter is down to 5. The Zuka goes down. Members of Barracuda try to take the zone. They do barely manage to stop it, but not quite enough. Thanks to the dual zone nature, as you were saying, that Booyah Bomb is able to secure it, and that is game 2 going in swift fashion to Octopus and Squids United Scarlet, putting Golden Barracudas on the back foot. We're looking at a possible match point here now.
Now at match point, Golden Barracudas has a mountain to try and climb right here. In grand finals, pressure is really stacking, and Octos and Squids are just utterly dominating Golden Barracuda here, just keeping the aggression going, keeping them pinned down, not giving them any breathing room, not giving them any time to regroup or properly recenter themselves, just playing super aggressively. Golden Barracuda just can't quite possibly keep up here and locking them out very well. And now, sitting at match point, you're going to be asking yourself, like, what could have been done differently here, and what can we do to try and fix this? Golden Barracudas have fights, and we've seen them do amazing things in the last set, and now I want to see exactly if they can pull out some amazing things again here in game number 3.
Yes, definitely, and this is definitely something. And we are heading to the Rainmaker game mode here on Undertow Spillway. Can the Barracudas replicate the magic they pulled on Rainmaker in the last round with a similar? It does have kind of a similar dynamic to Humpback, similarly enough, with a very seldom used, technically faster route on the opposite side from the route normally used. Honestly, on this map, it would not surprise me to see the Sultana Stamper coming out from Golden Barracudas. I feel this is a really scary map to be going against a Zipcaster on.
Yeah, I think Zipcaster is a prime pick here. Maybe swap it out for the Common Roller. It really doesn't. There's not really too many legends that can properly abuse, if not for the Zipcaster, and the Stamper just has so much more of a wider range of reach than the Common Roller that you might pick it over here. But yeah, no, this is definitely a similar dynamic than we saw from Humpback Pumpjack. The right path is the path no one hardly ever goes to, but it is the faster and the more dangerous path. So I'm eager to see if Golden Barracudas wants to try and take that gambit again here in a last-ditch effort. Now they're sitting at match point. If they lose here, they're done for this run. So when you're pushed back against the wall, you could pull out some crazy things.
Yeah, who knows? We might even see a pick that's entirely not even crossing our minds for all we know. I mean, this is it. They have nothing to lose but just going all out with what they think will work best here. And that is a well-string from Octopus Squid United. That is gonna be a pain for Golden Barracudas to deal with here, I'm predicting.
Yeah, Wellspring definitely has one thing here. It's just like such a wide map control, especially with a splayed out arrow line. You really gotta be careful where that Wellspring's shooting. It's already taking so far up ahead on the left side, not where any backline would normally sit and just poke from. It's just causing so much havoc, and even though both these teams are in a 1-for-1 trade right now, Octopus and Squid seem to have a much better map control and better like area control right here, and both these two teams are just fighting it out in mid. No one picking up the Rainmaker yet.
Yeah, although Octopus and Squid only get 2 down, it pushed up pretty far, and it's Okamu with the well-string pushing the Rainmaker, being able to be just ahead of the tripling check, and that's a wipeout. Can we see the knockout right here? Could it all be over? Golden Barracudas are going to be able to do it, but Okamu slams it down. That is game. The Octopus and Squids United Scarlet are your Division 2 champions. here in CCA Circuit Qualifier number 5 with a 3-0 victory in the fast knockout of this Rainmaker game. TAMU delivering the final blow with that dunk of the Rainmaker. Congratulations to Octos and Squids United Scarlet. Wow.
That was such a fast match. Octos and Squid just steamrolled. I hate saying this, but they just steamrolled Golden Barracudas and just take this last wipeout here at the very end was what's really sealed it. That was the lethal that Octos and Squids were looking for to just seal up this set here now, not letting Golden Barracudas any possible remote chance to try and come back or recover anything at all. That was, that's gotta hurt for them.
Yeah, I definitely feel bad for the Barracudas after they snatched victory for the Joseph Pete in the semis to advance. They had momentum going the way, but after this quiz, the Scarlet also play super aggressively the way they like to. They were able to play the Barracuda's own game against them there, I felt, and they did a really good job. And funnily enough, I felt for how fast Game 3 is, it's probably the most patient opening I've seen from this set, too.
Yeah.
Two of them really focusing on map control before picking the fight, but then once the fight started, it just snowballed completely, as we saw there, Dark.
Yeah, no, Octos really played the cards to absolute perfection there with a clean 3-0 win over Golden Barracudas. It's no wonder how at the end here they were just able to just completely wipe them off of. And oh man, even though you lost here, Golden Barracudas, you still got to keep your head up high for making it this far at the very least, you know? Making it this far could actually mean the difference of you making 2 playoffs or at least the wild card and not making it at all. So you really got to just wait and hold your breath here, and any other team really at this point. Got to really wait and hold the breath as we here at the CCA count the points earned today and see what final standings are like.
Yeah, definitely. Octos and Squids United Scarlet were already in a circuit final spot in Division 2. I'd say winning it all here gives them a very good chance of probably making it. And Golden Barracudas coming second place, I think they also drastically increased their odds here as the Division 2 is almost finalized. We're just waiting here for the result of the 3rd place match between FSU Garnet and That's Dangerous, with That's Dangerous currently having a 1-0 lead in a pretty pivotal 3rd place match there.
Yeah, at this point of the circuit, any single point you can get can really make or break your final placements, and every single match is important regardless of the outcome. And oh man, what a set, what a run today was for the final circuit qualifier. I couldn't ask a better ending for Division 2, and now, like I said earlier, all we gotta do is wait and see where final standings are after this is all counted up. But as we're beginning to wrap up, huge shout outs to everyone who played today. Congratulations for doing how you did. But Cygnus, any final words, anything you want to add or say as we close out?
Yeah, I'm just thrilled, Billy, about how the circuit's gone so far. It's something that's never really been done before here, and I'm just so excited on like how well it's been able to pick off. We've had so many teams playing in every single qualifier. I mean, I think the lowest we've had was still above 80 teams, and multiple times we were above 90 and even 100. It's been a lot of fun seeing how the leaderboard's shifting after every qualifier, and just gathering this many collegiate teams together on these few weekend days all together to just play and compete their hearts out has just been such a special experience, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the circuit finals coming up. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah, the circuit finals coming coming up in 2 weeks here. We see our current standings before any of the points from today is calculated. So hold your bets, folks. We will be seeing exactly where everyone stands here in, I don't know how long it takes these folks to count it up. But man, oh man, I do agree. I do love seeing all these collegiate kids come in and just play their absolute hearts out right and make their mark here at the CCA. Oh, wow, what a set, what a run. And I'm just gonna start wrapping up here. What a beautiful block it is, and I'm just proud to be here and see it goes. For my closing remarks, my name is SPF Dark. You can find me on most socials at SPF_Dark, as well as casting pretty frequently, at least once a week anyways, either here at the CCA, Under Pressure, SplatoonTourney, Battle Productions. I'm everywhere, honestly. You hear me at least one time. Anything on your end, Cygnus?
Yeah, you can find me on Discord. I'm in a lot of Splatoon related servers. I'm also a staff member here at the CCA. You can find me here, and sometimes on the mic. I'll hopefully be on Blue Sky soon as well at Cygnus 2018, as you see here. That's how you can find me. Once again, this has been so much fun, and like you, Dark, I'm just happy to be here.
Happy to be here. I honestly could have asked for a better block, but with that being said and done, folks, that's gonna wrap us up here at the CCA on SplatoonTourney. But I believe on our main channel, we still have their Division 1's Grand Finals going. So go in there and watch how that concludes, because Division 1 has also been a banger to watch. So as we're closing out here, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you guys next time.